Good morning, Raptor Freak. Lexi Outs here. It's Thursday, and we're doing the think tank, and we're back to the old format with the phone. That's right. It is a live call-in show, and I've posted the number in the Facebook group, in the Facebook chat, and also on the community page for members of the channel who have access to be able to see the phone number. Now, if you guys do not want to call me, I will call you. If you message me your phone number, I will call you back. And I have free calling throughout North America. So I can call you in the United States. If you want to be called on the channel today, you just got to send me a message and have that number and say who you are, and I'll call you back. Or you can call me directly at that phone line. And today, what we're talking about is Vince Carter's jersey getting retired. This is the stream to talk about it from everybody. I know y'all have put in your comments and stuff like that. But also, I want to hear it from your own voices. We want to hear the voices of Raptors fans, diehard Raptor freaks, talking about all sides of this. And in some ways, I have been very anti putting that jersey up in our arena. But I am going to be a little bit different today. I'm going to act like I don't have a memory after 2004. I'm going to act like how I was before it all went south with Vince Carter today. And I'm going to talk about the reasons why I do like him, the reasons why I do really appreciate the things he did for our franchise, and the feelings I felt when I was working in the arena during that period of time. I started working at the Air Canada Center when they built it in 1999, and I was there the whole time for Vince Carter playing for the Raptors. I was in the arena making Mr. Sub and watching all the games in person. I was in the middle, in the thick of the Vinsanity almost every night working the Raptors games. Of course, the Leaf games were Matt Sundin, Curtis Joseph, Steve Thomas, Ty Domi kind of era. And then on the Raptors, it was Vince Carter's era. And the energy in the building was palpable. There was a buzz. There was sometimes it was kind of fun to come in because you had no idea what you were going to see later on at work, because this guy was going to do something fantastic athletically in the game. The plays are outstanding. It's totally true that this man is one of the greatest athletes to ever play in the NBA as far as leaping ability and just able to do acrobatics and gracefulness with his body. This is the damn truth. In some ways, he captivated people with their imagination of what is possible. And in some ways, he was such a shot into the arm for the NBA as far as popularity and woos and ahs and stuff like that. You know, Vince Carter was one of the first people to get the Air Canada Center crowd out of their damn seats. Because I'm telling you, in the early expansion years, nobody was doing nothing in the crowd but sitting there and watching like a bump on the log. It's like Samuel L. Jackson said, quoted in Prehistoric with Alex Wong, that in the beginning years of the Raptors, the fans sat on their hands, and he would yell at the coach. He'd yell at the other team. He talked so much trash, and the polite Canadian crowd would look at Samuel L. Jackson like he was causing problems, like he was going to get the team in trouble. But he was just being a normal kind of fan that's involved in the game, talking trash. And in some ways, Sam Jackson was like, Raptors fans, Canada fans, y'all need to wake up and find out how it is to be a real fan. And I was trying to teach him too. And Vince was the man who helped me teach Raptors fans better how to get excited and get up out of their chair. I remember coming into the arena during Vince games in my sub uniform, Mr. Sub uniform, and getting in the crowd and doing that job that those T-shirt show throwers do now. There weren't nobody doing that in the arena at that time. I'd come out there and I'd turn around and I said, why are y'all sitting down? Get up, get up. And then Vince would go out there and he'd do a crazy dunk or some sort of amazing athletic thing. And then they'd get up. And I was like, yes. And then I think about the journey where the crowd has come from not really being involved, acting like basketball's dinner theater, to where we are in our place in the NBA right now as the greatest home court advantage in the whole entire league. It is true. They voted. LeBron James has declared it. Toronto has the best home court advantage in the NBA because of our fans and what we do. And Jurassic Park's a big part of it. But yeah, Vince. Let's talk about Vince, good or bad. If y'all want to talk about more about the bad reasons why we shouldn't put Vince's jersey up in the rafters, I'm all for that. If you guys want to talk about memories of why you love him and why you think this is a good thing that we're doing, I want to hear those stories too. So the phone lines are open. Anybody can call at any time right now, and I will answer the phone and put you on live with me on the air so we can hear your voice actually espousing your opinions and your memories. That's right. Let's get in the chat. The line's open at any time. Anybody can call at any moment, and I'm perfectly fine with it. And honestly, if I don't get any calls, I might be calling some people. So just be ready. Just be ready if I have your phone number. Trevor J's first in. Once again, the commissioner of fun, Trevor J. Good morning, family. Life is like a coin. Pleasure and pain are the two sides. Only one side is visible at a time. But remember, the other side is waiting for its turn. Wow, that's a beautiful, very poetic kind of word of wisdom today, Trevor. In some ways, I don't know if that's the only two sides of a coin, but maybe that's one of the coins you can flip in your life between pleasure and pain. Some people find the pain pleasurable. Kinky. But yeah, Trevor, it's just how it is. I mean, in some ways, look, I guess the message here is if you're going through dark times, well, this too shall pass, and you'll get back to the other side of good things too. If you're in painful times, well, hopefully at some point you'll get relief and you will get the pleasure at some point. Thank you, Trevor, for your words of wisdom. Cowboy's here. Let's see what Cowboy's saying this morning. Bradley, what's up, my guy? Yeah, good morning, Lex from Raptor Freaks. Dap to you, Cowboy. Remember, not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. I like that one too. Wow, Bradley coming in with words of wisdom this morning. And there's Darko. I love that. Makes me think of the Depeche Mode song, Everything Counts in Large Amounts. No, listen, this is true. Capitalism, money, everything about oriented in our society about being getting more. In some ways, that you can count that, sure, tangibly. But you know what? That's not what really counts. And what really counts is something that cannot be counted. And that is exactly what Cowboy's talking about. And that's love, connection, and just peacefulness and tranquility and just happiness in your life. In some ways, getting more money is not the secret to happiness. It just isn't. It can help, sure. But in some ways, that's not the root of happiness. In some ways, like Jay-Z says, more money, more problems, right? Hey, whoa. Trevor's saying WNBA playoff last night. Indiana and Phoenix got eliminated. These series are too short. We're talking about it in our Facebook chat yesterday. Carla bringing it up on the East Coast, Firebolt. That, a 3-game series is too short. Savannah Hamilton echoing this also on her Twitter this morning, that we need 5-game series at least. You guys, this seems like it's just not enough. You can't really get into it when it's only like, well, possibly 2 games, like some of these series were. It's like we want to see more Caitlin Clark. And if there had been 5-game series, well, she'd still have some games to play right now instead of being eliminated last night out of the playoffs. So congratulations to Kinetic Sun and also to the Minnesota Lynx for moving on to the next round. They'll face each other in the next round. And on the other side, it is Las Vegas versus New York in this round. Now, is this round at least 5 games? Because the first round only being 3, I mean, I know they're on a time condenser and stuff like that, and that's probably part of the reason why they do this. Now, guys, listen, the NBA season is coming up fast, and we've got to set up the Raptor Freak Yahoo Fantasy Basketball League. Now, 20 teams played last year, and I want to see everybody who played last year who wants to come back and play. You need to tell me that you are wanting to come back. Now, it did an auto renew, and all y'all are in there. But I'm going to tell you right now, we don't want any deadbeat managers. We want active managers just like we had in the WNBA fantasy this summer. So if you are not willing to commit your time to try and run your team correctly this year, we do not want you in the league. So I am actively, if you are in the chat right now listening to me, and you were in the league last year, please put in the chat that you are declaring that you want to return and play the NBA fantasy with us this NBA season, because we're going to do our draft on the 20th of October, the Sunday before the NBA regular season starts. So we're going to be doing a live draft on Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m., October the 20th. And I want to get the team straight for who's going to be playing with us seriously this season. And all the teams that are auto-renewed and in there right now, just declare that you're staying in and that you'd like to continue. And the ones that are not, I'm not hearing from, they will be opening up spots for people who did not play last year that would like to join us and play this year for the first time. So if you are interested in playing in our Yahoo Fantasy Basketball NBA League this year, and it will have a trophy, you guys need to let me know. And you can tell me in the chat right now. You can tell me in messages or in the Facebook chat if you're in there. Just everybody needs to check in and tell me that they are interested in continuing to play. That's everybody who played last year. And it's a lot of people that are in this chat right now. So just so y'all know, the phone line is open. Check the community tab for the new phone number to call to be on the show today. That's right. This is a live call-in show. I'll take a few calls during our show today from people, and I want you to espouse on your opinions about Vince Carter getting his jersey retired. And I want you to tell me whatever you want to say. You could tell me I've been crazy for being against it. You could tell me all the reasons why you think he's the most amazing guy. You can tell me why you don't think he should be up there. You can tell me about what you expect from the retirement ceremony. You can tell me where you want the banner to be in the arena ceiling, and what anything about Vince Carter's jersey retirement that you want to espouse an opinion on. The phone line is open and we are listening. So please give me a call if you'd like to. That's right, baby. All right. I love seeing all the names in the chat and stuff like that. Trevor J saying that Derrick Rose is retired. IQ shared a picture with him and Rose on his Instagram stories. All right. You're going to tell me to go to Instagram? Let's go right now. Real quick. There it is. That picture that Trevor's talking about. We see young Emmanuel Quickly with old vet Derrick Rose, who was waived by the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday, and he has decided to call it a career. And now all kinds of tributes are coming out for the former NBA MVP. Including our point guard, Emmanuel Quickly, who is showing a picture of him working with D Rose. You know, in some ways, I bet you Quickly looks at D Rose as one of his old head mentors from when he first came in the league. And that I'm sure Derrick Rose shared all kinds of stuff with Emmanuel Quickly. And this is why he's showing his respects to the vet that he had in New York for a year or two. There. So, yeah, Emmanuel Quickly showing his respects to the great Derrick Rose, who's announced his retirement today. McCurr is saying, I woke up today. I'm healthy. I'm blessed. I'm alive. Thank you, God. There you go. Amari Moore showing the nice, tight hair cut that he just got yesterday at Al Patros Barbers. So Amari's got the nice cut on his head for his hair. Right now, he's rocking it, looking good. And also, he's putting on blast Boise State point guard Alvaro Canderas. Has elite vision. So he's got a young player on blast. Teresa Resch is posting stuff about, she's been featured on Maclean's, the great old Canadian magazine, has got something, an article on Teresa Resch. It's absolutely fantastic article, interview with her, talking about the process of building the WNBA franchise here in Toronto, and also just things about her background, about her love for basketball, and also how she played volleyball, and how when she was younger, she didn't really watch pro sports or get into any of the major sports. She had sports heroes that were local, that she was more into, like the local basketball heroes on the teams in her region of Minnesota. So, yeah, really interesting, great magazine interview with Teresa Resch, the president of WNBA Toronto, in Maclean's, the latest Maclean's article. So if you can find it. Now, WNBA Toronto has put out a series of pictures of names that they've rejected as names of the team. And there's a backlash against this. And the backlash is not what you would think. And it's amazing. And I'm so proud of everybody because this is true. They've made the images in AI, that they're AI images, and the people in the comments are rejecting the images. They're saying, get this AI shit out of here. We do not want to see AI images. Can you hire an artist to do this instead? And I love that. This is the way everybody needs to be with AI. Because AI is going to take jobs. AI is a cop-out. AI is a fake. And in some ways, WNBA, even though somebody in your creative department's like, let's use AI to make these images, it'll be really cheap. Well, the fans have spoken, and they are mad at you for using AI. The comment section is just littered with people saying, what is this AI crap? Don't use AI. Pay artists. And that's the right way to be. WNBA, think about this. Seriously, you may have stepped in it for a second. The Raptors are not using AI. I have not seen them use AI very often, or if they have at all. And then, you guys are stepping in with your first graphics barrage, and there's AI in it. Well, the fans have spoken. We don't want this shit. We do not want artificial intelligence to be making images. And in some ways, people are very anti-AI because they know it's taking human jobs. So listen, Toronto Flurry, yeah, that's a great image. Why didn't you just get somebody to create that image, Teresa Resch? Is what I'm going to say. Toronto Ice, yeah, we're not going anywhere with these nature ones. Toronto Wildfire, I don't think that's a very good name because the wildfires out west are destroying lives and property and really, really pristine areas of Alberta. So wildfires is not the best name, whoever suggested that. Twisters, Yeah, twisters cause a lot of damage and problems too. Just ask what's going to be happening down in Florida today with the Hurricane Helene hitting my hometown of Tallahassee, Florida this morning. You know it's bad when Jim Cantor shows up in your hometown to be there for the Weather Channel. So yeah, we don't need no twisters. We don't need no ice. We don't need no frost. We don't need no wildfires. Those are silly names. I'm going to say that right now for a WNBA team. So yeah, check out Teresa's new interview in McLean's. It's awesome. Slim Duck's got this funny little girl saying introverts after socializing. They're asking the little girl, what's the best part of being at that? Said leaving. Leaving was the best part of being at that party. And that's how introverts are. And Chris can relate. Boucher. That's right. I love it. Raptors 905 has got clips of a guy trying out for the 905 last weekend at the open tryouts. I don't know if this guy's serious. He's coming in. He's really thinking hard about it, but he doesn't look like he's got the body for it. In some ways, maybe this is a joke. I don't know. 180, you're out there trying, but yeah, keep trying. SGA has got his guy Lou Dort on blast, who's rocking his face on his shirt. So Lou Getz is showing support for SGA. Meanwhile, SGA is showing him support by posting him on his Instagram stories. Norman Powell celebrating the most improved player for the WNBA is DeJounte Carrington. She has won the most improved player. A lot of people are saying she deserved it and that if she didn't win it, something was screwed up. Well, she did win it and everything is fine. And that is good. Norman is out and about, and there's a picture of him from Paris this summer. And there's one of the dogs, Apollo and Odin. Always love to see Norman Powell's dogs. They're so cute and beautiful. Jamal McGlure is still doing cool stuff out in Scarborough. Scarborough is funny, is what the thing is. Scarborough is a joke. It's a comedy festival coming up, Toronto Comedy Festival. Scarborough is a joke. It's a good fundraising event for good causes. It's out on Ellesmere, guys. Where the show's going to be Saturday, September the 28th. Doors are at 7. The show's from 7 to 9. So come out and hear some good comedy, pay some money for a good cause. Jamal McGlure's Scarborough's a joke. So get out there and support the community of Scarborough with Jamal McGlure. There it is. He's batting down that beer in his other ones. Yeah, he's crazy. Jamal's funny, man, with his stories. Pascal Siakam's got more vacation footage from being in Greece right now. This man's living it up. The piece in Greece is beautiful and amazing. And there's all kinds of great pictures of Siakam relaxing. He's just living the most charmed life. But he put in that work to earn it. I'm telling you right now, he put in that work to earn it. There he is walking around with cameras. Once again, Siakam always taking pictures. He loves the video camera and he loves the regular camera too. And there's a real art to Siakam's life now in his social media image. I'm telling you, there's a real art to it. And man, in some ways, Siakam is not just a brand. He's very much a feeling. Grady Dick putting on blast on his Instagram stories, Meritrust, and they're saying if you have a broken phone, Premium Perks Checking has you covered with cell phone protection. So he's putting on blast a bank that'll help you with your phone if you crack it. Davion Mitchell is quoting Aaron Rodgers on his Instagram stories. I'm not totally sure what he's talking about. He's like talking about how Aaron Rodgers learned too late in his life to not care what other people think is basically what's being said there. And Dylan Disu's putting up shots on his Instagram stories. Now, guys, I'm getting together the training camp roster spreadsheet for the 21 players that are going to be on the Raptors for training camp very, very soon. And I'll put it out and we'll talk about it in the days to come on this channel. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out and sort it out, kind of the scenery, the atmosphere for training camp and who's what with their direction on what's going to happen in training camp. So I've got the names right now, and we'll be covering this at some point. Maybe we'll do this on Sunday special report, talking about training camp and who's probably going to be on the training camp roster and who's probably going to make the team, things like that. Yeah, let's see. Isaac Campbell's got me and the phone on blast. That's right, y'all. It's a brand new phone. I love this phone, man. I just switched from Bell. It's crazy. Like, I hate Bell. In some ways, Bell has been horrible. They've been charging me over $100 a month for a horrible service that drops calls and just really bad everything. Bad customer service. I'll just go. Okay, here we go. We got a call. I was going to go in on Bell a little bit, but we'll go ahead and let's take this call. All right, hang on, guys. Here we go. Caller, you're on the air. Who do we have on the air today first? West Coast. Okay, guys, it's Tom Duke, West Coast Raptor Freak chapter president. What's going on, Tommy? How's the weather in Victoria this morning? I know it's a 6:50 a.m. in the morning right now for you. This guy, what's going on?
Oh well, it's it's my routine. It's actually a wet morning here. We had some rain yesterday, and it's supposed to be some showers today. But Mr. Duke is all ready for that. I got rain gear. And,
Nice, nice,
West Coast
Tommy.
boy, we're not afraid of the rain.
That's good. Yeah. So you're going to be working outside today and doing the stuff. So you got to be ready to be out there, right?
Yeah, you know it.
That's
I
right.
grow for a living.
So Tom, while I've got you on the phone, they have the open practice coming up in Montreal very soon at McGill University, and how you've gone to the open practice event in Victoria in the last couple of years. Would you encourage people around the Montreal area to go to open practice with the Raptors if they have the opportunity?
Holy smokes, yes. It was such an opportunity that at the time we were doing the Twitch streams, so thanks to you, I'll totally give you credit for my selfie with big number 4 Scotty Barnes. It was hilarious because all I had to do was say Raptors freak. And sure enough, he did the coolest turnaround like a rock star and pointed at me. Yeah. and then proceeded to walk up to me and give me a fist bump. So
that is so awesome.
I have the best experience of
that's amazing.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine you're all going to get that. But holy smokes, bonjour.
That was set up on Twitch. We were hanging out with Scott regularly. Tom was a regular in the stream with him, just like me. And we told Scott, Tommy's going to be there, and he's going to say, he said, well, tell me who you are. And he said, we're going to say Raptor Streak. And Scotty came through. Tommy said Raptor Streak to him, and he came over and he fist bumped him and took the picture with him. And I remember Tommy saying that at that time, everybody sitting around him was like, who is Tom? Like, he thought Tom felt like a bigwig. Because all these people were like, why did he do that to that guy? Like, they were like, ooh, he's special.
Whatever. Well, yeah. Raptors
you are, Tom. Come on now.
Special, right?
Yeah,
hi, everyone. And, I'm so excited. Thank you, Andrew and Monique, for the countdown. And I know we're all counting it down in our heads.
That's right.
But
so, Tommy.
It is, like you said, to sort of start the show, you
said
that you're going to go into this with a different mindset and sort of like it was before the championship. Well, you know what? I think I'm totally, again, give you credit for knowledge of the 905. I had no idea who the 905 was before I became a real Raptors freak. And that is probably one of the youth movement in our program is the most exciting thing, obviously.
Nice.
Right? And that 905 is very exciting for me this year. They're going to be great games, and the talent that's going to be down there. That Drew Jones is awesome, and I guess it all starts. We have to give thanks to Masai for putting it all together. Right?
Yeah, I'm excited about 905 for sure. I'm really going to try and get to a game for the first time finally out in Mississauga. Now that I have a vehicle and I drive, it'll be easier than being downtown and relying on TTC. So I'm very excited. I'm kind of penciling in that I'll go see the new Phoenix Suns G League team in January when the Valley Suns show up, because I kind of want to see their new team. But yeah, Tommy, how about this? How about we switch gears and you give me your unfiltered opinion on the Vince retirement, and however you feel. I've been negative about it, but I want people to come organically, honestly, about how they completely feel. And I'm not going to disagree with you, and I'm not going to shoot you down. I just want everybody to have their opinions exposed if they call me today. So you go ahead, Tommy. Tell me what your take is on the Vince retirement of his jersey, and how do you feel about it?
Well, that's fantastic that you're giving that other side of the coin, right? Because I know you're passionate about things and whatnot, but even listening to you, there's I don't want to be the hope of positivity or anything, but I know there's a chance that you could forgive him if he said the right things and sort of made the right moves and stuff, so I appreciate your view because you're passionate again, right? And I still see the credit that he did to our nation and basketball and all that, and I got to give him credit for why I thought the Raptors were relevant to watch and stuff, right? Because
so you're saying, Tommy, that without Vince, you may not be a big Raptors fan?
Well, I definitely wouldn't have watched them prior, like prior to the sort of that prior to the championship era, right? Before that building, like the younger years, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's hard to admit, but we all want to watch a good product, right?
Sure.
And
so Tommy,
games at the end of last season were painful to watch. If you don't see a guy like Scotty Barnes playing, or there's junk going on, right?
So Tommy, what would you say is your favorite Vince memory of Vince and the Raptors?
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to say that it's been bombarded with all the dunks that he's done over the amounts of footage I've watched.
Do you have any one in particular that's like absolutely your favorite as far as this is the one? This is the best one.
The logo dunk, right?
The logo dunk. So you do really like the 30th anniversary between the legs dunk.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I'm dreaming about Vince.
I guess that's kind of like Jordan's Jumpman logo with the leg spread. That body posture is probably the one that's associated with Vince.
Yeah, 100%. Right now it's even more ingrained. Now you got like the actual Raptors mascot doing it, right?
Yeah, it's a nice mashup. I am very pleased with that Vince Carter dunk logo. I thought that when it came out this summer, I thought it was very cool. And and that's tough with me as far as how I feel about Vince, but it's like that's pretty cool. I like that they did that with the Raptor logo. And we're gonna put it on the City Edition jersey now. So that's very, very cool.
Yeah, so. I know that's gonna be tough for you.
You know what? Listen, I'm working through it, Tommy. I'm working through it. In some ways, acceptance is a tough thing in everybody's lives, and in some ways, accepting what everything is going on right now, I have to, and in some ways, that's part of being graceful in this kind of stuff, especially when it's stuff you don't really agree with. But it is what it is.
Amen, buddy. Yeah, all those things, gratefulness, all that stuff you need to just sort of focus.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, this stuff is the trimmings around the real season, which is the team that's actually playing now. And maybe in some ways, I'll be more focused on the development of the 905 guys, like you mentioned earlier, and seeing where our guy Barnes is this season also. They're saying from the highlight clips of Scotty this summer that it looks like his shot has improved even more so than even last year, that his shot is looking even better. So this will be really fun to see how much better Scotty is.
Yeah, I'm just sit back, watch the show. It's really going to be exciting, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever the outcomes are, right? There's going to be bright spots all over the place.
Yes, that's the right attitude.
Crazy league, right?
That's right. So Tommy, I'm going to let you go, but man, thank you for being the first call today on the Thursday Think Tank call-in show. And Tommy, thank you for voicing your opinions and your memories of Vince. And yeah, as Tom said, y'all should go to open practice at McGill University next week when the Raptors are there for training camp. If you are able to get to that event, it is fantastic. Tommy knows because he went to the one in Victoria 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. Tommy, anything else to say before you get out?
Go Raptors.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. Tommy Duke.
Yeah, let's go.
West Coast.
Have a great day. Thanks.
You too, Tommy. You stay dry and enjoy your day out there in the BC, the Victoria, British Columbia. Tom Duke calling in today. I love it. Tommy getting on the phone with me today. All right, we're going to take more calls today too. Yeah, let's go. So happy to hear from Tom this morning. Tommy's awesome. Look, we got Andrew coming in. Only 10 days, y'all. 10 days. Wow. 10 days, DeMar DeRozan. 10 days. Wow. Yes, that's like a week and 3 days. And then we got the Raptors playing the Washington Wizards in Montreal at the Bell Center. And we'll be ready on this channel. You come and watch me. We'll get you ready. You're not going to be having this season sneaking up on you. No, we got the countdown. And the casuals out there that don't even realize NBA is going to be back, well, it's going to be back soon, baby. That's right. Cowboys saying, let's effing go. Big 10 days. That's right, Cowboy. Cowboy, you give me a call if you want to. if you can, on the number. You give me a call, Cowboy. I'd love to hear from you on the air. Darko and Ulrich in his comment there. I love it. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. We always love to hear from MJ. If MJ wants to give me a call today, she's more than welcome. Also, the number is in the community tab on other places. Kaz, I know you're on the road. Kaz is on the road. Good morning. Good morning to you, Kaz. If you wanted to call me, you are welcome to. Actually, I'm not sure if you have access to the number right now, but we will get access to people over time. Fiercely saying, yes, Andrew and Cowboy, 10 days till Raptors basketball. Y'all remember, I'm doing the Fantasy Basketball League, and if you do want back in, Fiercey and Tom and other people that played last year, you got to let me know, and I'll reconfirm you guys back in. Tommy's got Masai on blast. Good morning from Masai. I love it that Masai's been flipped into the emoticons. That's right. Tommy, who just called, is the one who's putting in these emoticons on our channel here. As far as like that Masai head was put in there by Tom. It's awesome. There's Milbester back from the timeout. Let's see what Milbester's saying. This is a better day for you, Milbester, to start talking your stuff. The trivia day, I'm too busy running a trivia game, and I can't have too many distractions with other comments. Know that that's part of why I put you on timeout, is because we were taking care of trivia business. So he's saying, morning, Lex. Anyways, once the season starts, I'll be over Knicks Fan TV. Don't worry. Good luck in the season for the Raptors. My family's preparing for Hurricane Helene in Florida. Storm is really bad. Yeah, listen, you can come and check on us every once in a while, Knicks Freak. We do appreciate you, Milbester. I apologize for timing you out, but we had a trivia game that we had to focus on, and you were trying to ask me too many questions about Knicks stuff. We found out our media day is actually on the 29th of September. The last day of September is when the Raptors will take the podium. Masai Ujiri, Darko Rajakovic, and key Raptor players will be talking on the last day of September for our media day. So that's when our media asking that about us the other day. I hope your family down in Florida is safe and okay. This is a very scary storm. Where I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida, is going to get a direct hit today. And there's a lot of friends and people that I care about down there that are in the line of the storm. And that's scary. That's scary. Oh, so scary. And I'm praying and hoping everybody stays blessed and safe down in Tallahassee, in the Sunshine State today. Yeah. And your family also, Milbester, down there also. Because, yeah, there's a lot of people down there I care about a lot from where I went to high school in Florida State and everything. I'm really hoping and praying that they have a good day and nothing goes crazy down there with this big, huge Helene coming through. Fiercely saying, Canadians are so polite and shy. I go off when I watch games from home. Laugh out loud. Well, it's changed. It's changed in some ways. And in some ways, I'm proud of the growth of the Raptors franchise fans as far as how we've come correct and how crazy we are. I mean, the things like the parade that shows how many people came to our championship parade, the things like the people at Jurassic Park standing outside the arena in the cold, in the winter, in the rain, and they are out there being loud, and you can hear them through the walls into the Scotiabank Arena. We have real ones, and I'm telling you, there's new levels we can get to as Raptors fan nation that I'm trying to get going in the arena as much as possible. The problem is the very high-paid tickets down near the court don't usually have the kind of fans that like to get loud. They're more reserved and kind of quiet. And when Lex sits near the court in the 100 level, sometimes the fans look at him like he's crazy when he's yelling like he does in the 300 level. So, yeah, we got to get more of the 300 level energy down in the lower bowl around the arena. And then, our home court advantage will get even better is what I'm talking about right there. Cool Cat is here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Cool Cat, give me a call if you can. You're a member of the channel. You have access to the number. We'd love to hear from you on the phone if you want to call us today. Milbester saying it's a category 2 in Gulf of Mexico and it's strengthening to category 4. That's what I heard. Category 4, likely hitting Florida. My family is worried, embracing the storm, and my older brother has a farm in northern Florida. That's where I grew up, Milbester. I grew up in northern Florida. I was there for my whole childhood, right up through university. So I have a lot of history and a lot of people around there that I care about also, Milbester. So let's put a prayer out for everybody down there in the Big Bend area of Florida right now, because it is, scary. Now, I've been through a lot of hurricanes down there myself over the years, and I know what they're like. And in some ways, sometimes they're overhyped. But you know what? With a hurricane, you always want to be just overly cautious because, yeah, sure, some of them will come through and it's nothing. And you're like, okay, whew, that's good. But the time you let your guard down and you think, oh, they're always hyping up these Hurricanes. They ain't gonna be that bad or anything. Then all of a sudden something bad happens. So be smart about it down there in Florida, guys. All right, we got a call coming in. I'm not sure who it is. Let's see who it is, guys. Speaker, you're on the phone. Who do we have the next call today?
What's up, Lex? Cowboy.
Cowboy, we got Bradley on the phone today. What's up, ta-da? What's going on, my guy, Bradley? How are you doing today? Where are you working in the GTA today, Bradley?
I'm at Clark and Young.
Clark and Young?
Yeah, I'm like a little bit north of Toronto, I guess.
Right. That's like Richmond Hill kind of up there.
Yeah.
Nice. Bradley, what's the job today? What's the ta-da job today? What are you guys doing?
I got plastering, flooring.
Nice.
Painting. I got a list.
Oh, you got a list. So there's plaster, there's flooring, it sounds like you're doing some restoration for something that happened.
Yeah, for the owner just wants to sell their house, get it ready.
Okay. So you're sprucing it up for them while they put it on the market. Okay, very good. So Bradley, we're talking about Vince today. I'd love to have your unfiltered opinion about Vince Carter and this jersey retirement that we're having, pro or con. Any kind of way you want to put it, it's purely your opinion, and I don't want to influence it at all, and I will respect whatever you have to say. So,
yeah, I would rather the Rosen or one of them first.
Yeah,
because he's tired, but I actually don't mind it. Whatever he put Toronto on the map. I'm not really that worried.
Yeah,
I hope he does say something once that ceremony comes, right? Say something positive.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there has been something that came out yesterday, Bradley, where Sam Mitchell is saying that Vince actually did not want to get traded all of a sudden right at the end. But I think there was a lot of jerking around where Vince did say he wanted to get traded that year for the longest time. And then he had second thoughts right at the end. And the crazy thing is Rob Babcock had already pulled the trigger and traded him. So there's a little bit of jerkiness. It's like, I don't want to be on the Raptors. Trade me. You're not doing it fast enough. And then all of a sudden, Rob Babcock hurries up and does the trade. And then Vince Carter's like, no, I don't want to get traded now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's probably both sides of the story, right?
Yeah. Sam Mitchell's the one who was saying this because he was the coach at the time. And he said that he talked to Vince, and Vince was all of a sudden saying, I don't want to get traded now. And Rob Babcock said, he's traded already. We can't do anything about it. It's crazy.
Well, if you talk shit, then sometimes it happens, right?
That's right. And that's what Chris Boucher was saying on the Hustle Play podcast a couple of years ago, where he said, you talk about wanting to leave, or you want to leave or move from somewhere, the landlord might kick you out.
That's it.
Yeah. So, Bradley, what else do you want to talk about with the Raptors? I know you're very big on our Royal Highness, Mr. Prince Shamshay. So you want to talk about Ulrich at all right now while I have you on the phone?
I just think he's going to be awesome. I don't think he's going to really have too many problems. Obviously, he's going to have a little bit of issues because he's young and stuff, but I think he's going to be awesome for us. I could see him doing some good stuff for us this season.
It's interesting because he does have royal airs to him, but they're very playful and it's not very serious. But in some ways, I could tell where it's like he's very much got a very high level of self-respect for himself, but I don't think it's in a toxic way. I think that because of his roots in agriculture and his farming community that he comes from in Cameroon, that he's very a humble guy, but also at the same time, he understands to not let himself get pushed around, which is, I'm very excited about that aspect about him.
Me too. Yeah, I don't think he'll let Messiah down, honestly.
That seems like it is his priority because he was saying that he does not want to let the president down. He calls him the president.
Yeah, he's the president.
The president. That's right. Well, Bradley, man, I love you, man. I appreciate you calling in this morning. Anything else you want to add before I move on in the show?
I think all our draft picks are going to do a little something this year too. I think I like our team. I don't know. I feel like this is one of the most exciting teams I feel to start the season for some reason.
Yeah. There's something to be said about having a team that doesn't have very high expectations and that we have no pressure on them. That's really been a big thing since the championship. The Raptors team coming in has expectations, and they're supposed to be this. At this point, there isn't that kind of thing around them right now. So in some ways, that kind of makes it more fun in some ways. I agree with you. These rookies are going to be amazing. And when I was doing the early draft up of the depth chart for the Raptors right now, I was like, we've got a great starting lineup. We've got some good veterans off the bench, and we have amazing 5-man rookie class coming in this year. That's going to be very, very interesting.
41 plus wins.
You know, actually, bringing that up, Bradley, there's an ESPN article out this morning by Kevin Pelleton, and he is win projections for all 30 NBA teams for this season. He's got us at 10th in the Eastern Conference with 34 wins, which is actually higher than some of the other places I've been hearing. But it's weird because they have the Nets right above us at 37 wins. I do not see that. Jordi Fernandez is a great coach. He's amazing, but they don't. Who do they have on their team that's going to get them the talent to get 37 wins? I think that's daydreaming, and maybe Kevin Pelleton is just a homer for the Brooklyn Nets for some reason. But seeing the Nets at number 9 above the Raptors on ESPN's ranking this morning seems ridiculous to me. 37 wins for the Nets and 34 for the Raptors. Maybe flip that, Kevin Pelleton, is what I would say right there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I think that guy's drinking too much.
Yeah, and he's also got the Eastern Conference very much lower with win totals than the Western Conference. And our counterpart on the other side at 10th is the Lakers with 40 wins on the other side. So they think that they'll be 10th in the Western Conference with 40 wins. But yeah, I think that we should be better than the Brooklyn Nets this year. We very much should, because then that's a talent thing. We have way more better talent than they do. So
yeah, we have a lot of talent. We're gonna be good. We're good. We're good to go. We're stacked.
There you go, Bradley. There you go, Cowboy. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in. Ta-da, y'all. You need something done like restoration like Bradley's doing. You're selling a house. He can come in and do your plastering, your flooring, and make it look real nice for you to when you're trying to sell it and put it on the market. Bradley, thank you so much, man.
Freaks, later, freaks.
Yeah, you got the number now, Bradley, so we'll talk, all right?
Tom texted me, and it's his fault now.
No, it's all good. I put the number up in different places for you guys too. So I was hoping you get the number too. I think I was going to message you soon anyway. But Bradley, I love you, bro, and we'll talk very, very soon. Okay, my guy.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Let's go, Raptors. Yeah, that's right. There's Ulrich Shamshay's number 1 fan, Bradley. Ta-da, baby. Canadian Cowboy calling in this morning on the Raptor Freak Live Think Tank call-in show. Very, very cool. Very, very cool stuff. Very, very cool to hear from Bradley this morning. That's right. Smooth's here. Good morning to Smooth Brown Man. Today is the last home game for the Oakland A's, reminding me of September 29th, 2004, the last game for the Montreal Expos. Thinking of A's fans today. Yeah, this sucks. This is sad, and this was something that they've tried to fight against to not happen. But Oakland is done, and they're going to move the team. And there's a lot of history there. You think about the days of Canseco and McGuire and Ricky Henderson and Carney Lansford and Dave Stewart and all those great Oakland A greats from the heyday of that time and that history. And it's just sad. In some ways, it's a story about economics. It's a story about a community that wanted to keep their team and, well, financials and stuff like that. And it's not going to allow it. And, well, the fans were literally taking the seats out of the arena at the last game. I've seen that. Yeah, and this does hearken to the feelings that the city of Montreal felt when the Expos went to Washington and became the Nationals. Yeah, I hate this. I hate this for the Oakland A's. In some ways, the Oakland A's is a franchise in baseball that I actually used to really like, the Bash Brothers, Canseco and McGuire. And this sucks. This sucks so bad. And in some ways, I'd be pissed too if I was somebody who lived in Oakland right now. I'd be pissed right now. Yeah. Trevor J saying, if Vince Carter was playing now, he would be the face of the NBA. Well, how old, Trevor? If he's playing right now, he'd be too old. He would not be jumping or doing anything. You're saying if it was young Vince Carter and he came in and he did the stuff that he did when he was on the Raptors early, he'd be the face of the NBA? Yeah, probably. Yeah, that power of talent and athleticism and acrobatics, yeah, that would work in any era. I don't know if he'd get away with it in the 50s because it may be like, yeah, there's rules. You're not supposed to dunk. But, in the evolution of the game, I think Vince Carter would translate going into the future. And, we got to think about who's the guy like Vince is a high flyer right now. Maybe Ja Morant. Ja Morant gets up there for his height and the way he's athletic and stuff like that. That he can be very sensational, kind of like a Vince Carter in some ways. But yeah, I think you're right. If we had young in his prime Vince Carter on the Raptors in today's NBA, he'd probably be just as popular, overwhelmingly popular in this league as he was then. And that's the thing we have to remember about Vince. Forget about all the bad stuff. This guy was the most popular athlete on earth around 2000. He really, really was. And the crazy thing is, he had knocked the king, his airness, off that throne in just the first couple of years of being in the NBA. That dunk competition put him above Michael Jordan. And he got more votes in the All-Star game than Jordan. And in fact, very famously, Vince Carter gave up his starting spot in the All-Star game for Michael Jordan in his last year as a Washington Wizard so that he could be honored and start his last All-Star game. That, in some ways, is something I give a lot of credit to Vince, as far as like he's very, very respectful to another guy from his alma mater, UNC, and giving his starting spot to Michael Jordan at that point. That was actually a pretty cool thing that Vince Carter did at that time. Now, also, I could be on the flip side and say that just shows that he's kind of like an easygoing guy and a pushover. That if he was really a strong competitor, he'd be like, fuck that. I got this spot over Michael Jordan and I earned it. And I'm sorry, MJ. I mean, I'm sure that the NBA came to Vince Carter and asked him and said, you need to let Michael start instead of you. And he was like, yeah, I don't mind. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. But who knows? I mean, that was very interesting. In some ways, as a Raptor fan, this was another way that Vince kind of gave concessions around the Raptors that I didn't like, because he should have been starting, because that's prestigious for our team. So we all have our different motives and things that we care about. But I thought it was classy that he sat out and he went off the bench instead and let Michael start instead. Cool Cat saying, I like the 3-game series for the first round. I wish the NBA would do that as well. You like it. So here's a counterpoint about the WNBA's 3-game first round. I think it's too quick. And I think that in some ways, like they say, the series doesn't start until somebody loses on a home court. And in some ways, with these kind of short two out of 3 series, you don't really get that feeling of chess, or it's just really kind of like you get down 1, boom, it's do or die then, and you're done. So I don't know. I think that I'm going to be a counterpoint to Cool Cat on this. I think they need at least a best of 5. I mean, in some ways, it doesn't have to be the overkill of like a 7-game series like the NBA has at every round. But maybe there's a 5-game series in the first round, just have 5-game series all the way through the WNBA playoffs. That may be the answer. But Cool Cat likes it, and she wishes the NBA would do this. That's an interesting counterpoint. Mabester saying, can I join? I was going to do NBA fantasy for the first time. Well, Mabester, if there are teams that do not show up and take their team back, yes, you can join. It's just keep up with being in the chat here in the channel day to day, and I'll let you know if a spot opens up, and I'll put you in. And we'd love to have you and compete with us in the league. So yeah, it's possible. We'll just have to see out of the 20 teams who's not going to be returning and how many franchises get opened up to be able to jump in. Cool Cat's saying, I'll be back for your fantasy league. All right, there's the first confirmation. I can say that Cool Cat will be back to compete in our NBA fantasy league. She played her WNBA this year, and she was in the league last year. So Cool Cat is coming back, and every single time she plays fantasy sports, she learns a little bit more and gets better. I can tell. Kareem saying, I fantasize about fantasy. Okay, Aldo Nova. Life is just a fantasy. Do you live that fantasy life? If you know that old classic rock song, you were old, just like me. Kaz is saying, Lex, if there's an extra spot, I will join. Awesome. Well, we'll see. And like I said, there may be teams that they did just not going to come back, or they may be just like deadbeat. And I'm just like, hey, I'm not hearing from this person. So we're going to go ahead and give you this franchise spot. Yeah, there you go. Bryce Lawson's here holding it down in the K-Tuck. Kentucky's in the house. All right, let's see. What is Bryce saying as I scroll up this, trying to get back to where I was in the chat because it jumped ahead. Let's see. Bryce is saying, good morning, Lex from Raptor Freaks. Absolutely want to join the league, Lex. Sounds like there's some very excited people that want to play in the league. Some of the people that didn't play like really hard last year, well, you're out. We're going to put Bryce in. We're going to get Milbester. We're going to get Kaz. We're going to put these new people in because the players last year, some of them were sleeping the whole season. Yeah, Bryce is laughing at Kareem. Cowboy's in. I'm in. He wants to play. All right, Cowboy, you had a team last year, didn't you? Didn't Cowboy have a team last year? So if Cowboy, you're already on there, we'll definitely put you back in if you're already on the list. Yeah, there's Bradley. Ta-da. He's in there. He's going to be on there. Bradley, I forgot that you were in the league. So this year, you got to keep up with it better. Cool Cat saying, I hope I have enjoyed Derrick Rose's basketball career. Yeah, marred with injury at times. In some ways, could have been something even more without the injury. There's, I don't know. In some ways, also to me, Derrick Rose is kind of overrated. I'm not gonna lie. No disrespect. I know the man just retired, but to me, he was never that special to me. Like I never got why he won the MVP. I really didn't. I really didn't. And Bulls fans are probably like, Lex, you're an idiot. But I'm like serious. Like, there were other guys around the league that I thought were just as good, if not better than him, and he was getting so much shine. In some ways, I felt like for most of Derrick Rose's career, he was an anointed golden boy by the NBA, and that he was getting the same kind of pushes that people like Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, and Ben Simmons got that may not have been totally necessarily rightfully for him. That's what I'll say right there. So I think that in some ways, Derrick Rose's career and his accomplishments are a little inflated by the NBA and their perception machine. So that's what I'll say right there. Kareem saying, I'm in. It's a complete crap. Yeah, you were on the league last year, right? Kareem, you're in. All right, I'm going to make sure I remember this. Yeah, I see Kareem's in there too, right? Yeah, there he is. No stretchy, stay ready is the team from last year. And Cowboys laughing. Tommy's saying Grady Dick will be better this year. Can't be worse than last year. Fantasy is a daily grind. A lot to it if you want to be competitive. That's right. Tommy knows. Tommy's saying I am in is what I mean. All right, he's in too. All right, good. We're getting different ones. David saying, can I play? David, you played last year. You can definitely play, David. David, you're a fantasy second place winner in our WNBA. So, of course, you can play in the NBA, getting second place in the fantasy. All right, guys, we got our classic card of the day. David's here. So we'll do it right now. The time is 9:45 where we're stopping the chat. I'll come back to it. All right, guys, here's the classic card of the day. We'll get some points on the trivia score. Smooth, you are up near the top. Let's go, Smooth Brown Man. I want to see you get this right now. All right, here we go. Here's a classic card. Who knows who that is? This is an easy classic card. If you know this, you know this. Just write it in, full name, and do not half-ass it. If you do not write the full name in correctly, I will be mad at you. Yeah, let's see. There you go. Isaac's on it quickly. It's the Dunking Dutchman. The man, the big 7-footer for the Indiana Pacers back in the day, Rick Smits. And you know what, guys? This is actually a Rick Smits rookie card, guys. Look at that. Look at him from Holland. 7'4". Zach Edey height right there. Yeah, just ahead of you, Smooth. 100 points for Isaac Campbell. He's in play. Isaac's saying, you know what? I want to get my name on that trophy behind Lex over there in the corner. But yeah, there he is. There's old Rick Smits. He was all rookie team, first team in his rookie year for the Indiana Pacers. Look at that old Indiana Pacers jersey. You guys want to see that jersey come back? This is awesome. I love this card too. So if you like this card, you want a Rick Smits rookie card, come to the next Raptor Freak meet and greet hangout. We will have the box. All the cards in the classic card are available for people to come get. If you want these cards, they will be available. So if you want that Rick Smits rookie card, look at Isaac jumping in there and getting in there on the quick. And he wrote it exactly right. Rick with no C. And look, Smooth's right there right after it. Right after it. There you go. Good stuff, guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see. Where are we? We're right here. It's Cowboys laughing. Smooth saying Oakland lost the Raiders, the Warriors, and now the A's. Yeah, it's just sad. In some ways, it's an economically depressed city, and that's the symptom of this. Your sports teams leave you when things are not being invested in correctly, infrastructure. Politicians are not having policies. They're economically developing the community for people to have a chance to get better lives. Yeah, there's all kinds of issues in Oakland, and it's too bad. It's sad, and this is just symptomatic of it. In some ways, losing your sports team is like a canary in the coal mine, that your city's in trouble. Seriously, all gone. NFL, NBA, and MLB. That's awful. My brother is here, y'all. Say what up to Carl Otts. Good morning, freaks. Good morning to you, my brother. My brother. Yeah, I want you to be safe too. Apparently, this Helene is going to be coming in with some force, and it's going to be hitting Atlanta too. Directly, and that there's some worries about the storm coming all the way up. I mean, the further it goes on land, it weakens, but still, there's going to be some heavy stuff coming up towards my brother and his family in Atlanta, Georgia, either later tonight or tomorrow. So be ready, Carl. I love you. I love the kids. I love your wife, and I hope that you guys are doing great. And mom and dad are going to be back very soon from being up here and coming down, and you guys will be able to see them again soon. So love you, Carl. Thanks for checking in with us on the chat today. Call me if you want. Carl, you want to call me on the phone? Maybe I should call Carl. Let me just call Carl real quick. You guys want to hear me talk to my brother on the show real quick, just for fun? I can do that now because this new phone's way better. I was telling you guys, I switched from Bell to Freedom Mobile right before Bell sold their stock in MLSE. It's like weird. It's like Raptor Street gets rid of Bell, cancels his account, and then Bell sells their part in MLSE like 2 days later. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, I'm Bell free now, baby. All right, let's see if he answers. He may not. He may be busy. He could be in a meeting. He might be at work. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see if he answers. If he does, it'll be fun. Let's see if he answers. Is he still watching me? Maybe he just said, hey, good morning, and he took off. And he's like, whoa, why is he calling me?
Hello.
Hello. Is this Carl Otts?
It is.
Hello, Carl Otts. This is Alexi Otts. How are you today?
Good.
Yeah? What's going on down in the hot Atlanta, man?
A lot of rain.
A lot of rain. So you guys are already getting a lot of rain. The preamble for the storm?
Yes, it's going to be bad.
So are you doing any precautions as far up in at Atlanta for this storm? Like, what are you doing, Carl, to be ready for this? Are you getting the water?
No, just making sure my vehicle has gas because it has a generator built into it.
Oh, very cool. So if you have any trouble with losing power, you'll use your car as your generator.
That's correct.
That's pretty amazing, man. That's so cool. So what else has been going on? We've been doing all kinds of cool stuff up here recently. We got a new raised bed, and I got to fill it up with hugel culture and get it seasoned for next spring to grow vegetables in. But yeah, that's the stuff we've been doing and fixing up the cottage a bit more here. Dad's been painting and putting up plywood over a hole in the wall and stuff like that. And Mom just got back from Ottawa. She had a really good trip seeing everybody over there. It was really nice for her to be with her brothers and sisters. But I miss you, Carl. I hope you've been doing really well. Anything you want to say about, do you have any opinions on Vince Carter? I know Vince Carter played in Atlanta for a while there, and you guys saw him around the Atlanta area.
Yeah, I don't really have a big opinion on him. I mean, I think he was always fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, not really.
Not really. Carl, you're a golf guy. Carl loves to play golf. He's really big into golf, and you're also a big Braves fan. Like, you're a big Atlanta Braves. How did they do this year in the MLB?
So nobody here can really tell you because of the issue with Valley Sports. Nobody can watch the game.
What? That seems ridiculous.
Valley Sports own the rights to all the Braves games.
Yeah.
And they went bankrupt.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I remember hearing about that. And it affected NBA teams also, just so you know.
It did. So nobody could watch any of the Braves games.
That's ridiculous. That's such a weird thing from when we were kids, because I remember every single Braves game was on TBS.
It's a complete opposite. It's
yeah.
Like there's a blackout for watching any local game.
Like, it's crazy because when we were young, Ted Turner had the Braves games on TBS across the Superstation, and everybody everywhere could watch the Braves anywhere in the U.S. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Well, either way, that sucks, and hopefully they'll figure this stuff out. In some ways, they need Turner to come back and get involved in this. Obviously, it sounds like, if they can get him. So.
No, I think went to a conference and watched him speak a couple of years ago, and
he's up there.
He's out to relax and
he's up there in age. He's up there in age, and in some ways, Ted Turner he just can't do what he used to do as far as being in charge of everything like CNN and stuff.
Well, I would call him the predecessor to Elon Musk in the thinking and the way that he operates. And think about how Elon Musk would be in 30, 40 years and the stuff that he would say and do. More, even further out there than where he is now.
Crazy.
Forward thinking and
okay.
Whatever, so.
I always thought that Ted Turner was fun because he was always like, I like my wrestling. And he always like protected WCW. Yeah.
He's an interesting person for sure.
Well, listen, Carl, I love you very much. I appreciate you taking my call today and being on the show live today with us. Everybody can hear your voice. That's cool. And getting a little update.
Didn't know we were live.
Yeah, you're on the show right now. Everybody's listening. I guess maybe I broke a law or something. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You're
But
in a different country.
yeah, I don't know. There's no jurisdiction.
Actually, in the state of Georgia, as long as one of the parties knows that the call is being recorded, it's legal.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's not like we said anything crazy, and I'm trying to be respectful and stuff. Well, you all right?
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, give my love to your kids and your wife. And I miss you guys. And I hope everything goes great for you guys during the storm and everything is just smooth and easy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all worried about everybody in Tallahassee and down there. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. You know, like I said earlier, when Jim Cantor shows up, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah. He's been there. So we're in trouble. But
yeah.
Definitely. I got to hop on a call here.
All right, Carl. Well, thanks for taking my call.
Take care.
That's right. Let's go, Raptor Freaks. That's right. All right, brother. All right, bye.
All right.
Love you too. Bye. All right, there you go. We got Carl Otts on the phone today. That's pretty fun. I love that so much. And yeah, he's gearing up already for Helene, even though he's all the way up in Atlanta. Holy crap, that's crazy. Holy cow. Wow, wow. Fiercey saying, keep me in for NBA fantasy. You're in, Fiercey. Of course, you're building and learning, MJ. And you're getting better and better as a fantasy player. And yeah, your performance in the WNBA this summer is showing it. We're definitely going to have you in the NBA for sure. Mr. Otts in the house. That's right. Good to hear from Carl this morning. Fiercely saying, congrats on an amazing career, D Rose. Still to this day, love how he wouldn't dance on stage for the All-Stars while LeBron and Dwight carried on. That was a good moment. I remember that. That was awesome. He's just too serious. In some ways, I like that aspect about Derrick Rose, that he's a like no nonsense kind of guy. And he's kind of like, what is this bullshit? And he's kind of like, yeah, he's very serious professional. And in some ways, I really do respect that aspect about him. I really do. Really do. Fiercely saying Toronto flurries. Lord help us. Yeah, they were trying to get some sort of deal with McDonald's like Pascal did. If you're going to name the team Toronto Flurries, they play in the summer. There ain't no flurries in the summer in the WNBA. I'm sorry. She's got the snowflakes out there. Yeah, she's like facepalm. Toronto Flurries? Really? Cowboy said, Tom Dukes, let's go. Let's go. That's right. That's so fucking cool, Tom. Really cool to hear from Tom, Bradley, and Carl this morning. Raptor Freak family are special. Let's go. Almost single digits, Andrew. 10 days to go. Let's go. He's saying it was insane when he jumped over that 7-footer in the Olympics. Yeah, he's bringing up the Frederick Weiss dunk of death. Vince Carter in the Olympics dunking over Frederick Weiss. The anniversary was this week of 24 years ago of that happening. And yeah, that's a great memorable moment of Vince Carter back in the day for sure. Randolph is here. Beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Blessings on this glorious day. Fatigue is not a reason to quit. If you get tired, it's okay to rest. Don't quit. Your work is important. Stick to it. There you go, Randolph. I love that word of wisdom. Blessings to you and the Phillips family. And here's Leo Routens and what he's saying. Good morning. Happiness is there for the taking and the making. You can make that happiness. Your situation may not be ideal, but you can find a ray of sunshine in any situation. And you are the one who gets to declare your mood. You're the one who can set up your day. And if you want to be upset, you go ahead and be upset. You will be. If you want to be happy, you can have a conscious choice to make your day a happy day because you focus on the good stuff and you practice gratitude. There you go. Words of wisdom from Randolph Phillips and our guy, the kid from Kiel, Leo Routens. That's right. Cowboy saying, I don't know where the community tab is. Well, Tom got you. And if you want to know, it's on the channel page and there'll be like videos live and then communities on the side there. And there's a picture of Messiah on the phone. And that's where the phone number is, guys. So, yeah. David saying, can I give Cowboy the number? Yeah, I told you could the other day. Tommy did it. All right, cool. David saying, those fans in the 100 level are a bunch of fake-ass bitches. 2-pack all eyes on me. David, tell us how you really feel about this. I mean, we've sat down there a lot. David and I will sit in the 100 level, and we're very loud. And sometimes people look at us like, why are they being so loud? Why are you not being so loud, 100 level people? That's what I would say to them. That's right. Cool Cat saying, bummer. I'm in meetings this morning. You can't call. It's all good, Cool Cat. I'm going to be doing the call in for the Thursday Think Tank going forward when it comes on every once in a while because I got this new phone. A new phone plan. Yeah, I have Freedom from Bell Mobile. Now I'm on Freedom Mobile. Yeehaw! Let's go. That's right. That's right. Andrew saying Shamshay. Andrew saying Shamshay's trainer said when he was drafted, Shamshay turned to him and said in English, "I'm going to make Masai proud." That's right. That's right. It matters to him. He wants to make people proud. I love it. Andrew saying also Ben Simmons and Killian Hayes will not get you 37 wins. Yeah, talking about the Nets, is Ben Simmons even going to play? There's no guarantee on that. Dennis Schroeder is the best net in my eyes right now. And that's what I'm saying. You guys think that they're going to get more wins than the Raptors, Kevin Pelleton? Seriously? What is wrong with you, ESPN? Seriously, you think the Nets are better than the Raptors and they're going to get more wins? You are crazy. The Nets may be the worst team in the league this year. And you guys think that they're going to have more wins than us. They are nuts. Did they know something that we don't know about the Nets or something? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. Milbester's saying, Lex, I want to join your NBA fantasy. I never did fantasy league for NBA before, and my MLB at ESPN fantasy season is ending. I'm in the second round of the playoffs. My league's super competitive. No one does trades. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I've played fantasy baseball before, Milbester, and it's a grind. It's a long season, and you have to keep up with it every single day because you got to pay attention to who's catching and who's not. You got to pay attention to your pitchers and when the starters are coming in. That is a grind, Milbester. And yeah, ESPN fantasy baseball is fun. I played it in the past. Let's see. He's feeling bad for Oakland A's. Last game in Coliseum versus the Rangers. Yankees finished their last series ever at Coliseum during the weekend. So many memories they had with the A's in the playoffs. I know. That's not just sad for fans of the old Elephants Athletics, but also the teams that came in there made memories also. I mean, we could think about a classic World Series where there's an earthquake with the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland A's. That was just such an iconic time in baseball, and it was very much a very popular time in baseball. And it's kind of sad to see this kind of stuff happen as change happens over time. To say goodbye to the Oakland Coliseum, really, 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 really sad. Yeah, Tom's got so awesome, Andrew. There you go, Shamshay and Masai. I love it. Carlos here. Good to see Carlo JS. I remember that in-game Vince dunk against the Pacers. I remember that the most. That in-game Vince dunk. I mean, you have to be more specific because it's holy crap. He may have had a couple of really crazy dunks against the Pacers in his career, but I think I understand which one you're talking about. It was in transition. He really went up and he really swooped and threw it down. That's nice. Yeah. Fuck Brooklyn. That's right, Cowboy. Fuck Brooklyn. Milbester's saying John Fisher sent letter regarding the relocation of the team, and the A's fans were pissed off. Awful situation and what they're going through. All the workers at Coliseum will lose their jobs too. Yeah, it's just a bad situation, man. Yeah, Tom's saying, I might just delete your comments, Milbester. Whoa. No, he's okay right now. He's okay. That's a topic that we're talking about, the Oakland closing. And in some ways, it's important to talk about in sports because when franchises have to move like the Oakland A's are, well, it's something that, we do talk about a little bit. It is news of the day. Carlos saying there was a time when Kobe and Vince were seen at the same level. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was a marquee matchup around 2000. In the NBA. Of course, Allen Iverson versus Vince Carter was huge, and especially in that series in the playoffs. But Kobe Bryant versus Vince was something that people got up for. In some ways, this is the whole thing like in wrestling. You want to have a matchup in the main event that is making sense, like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. And Vince was very much a good opponent for people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, as far as this is Vince versus Michael. And that was not a facetious kind of that's very lopsided for Michael kind of thing. No, it was fun to watch those matchups when Bryant went head to head with Carter, when Jordan went head to head with Carter and stuff like that. Even people like Iverson and Carter, of course. That was a marquee. That was the shit you wanted to put on. Yeah, you wanted to put that on there. It was just brief, Tom. Laugh out loud. And yeah, not that funny. I was so over it. All right, guys. Tommy is a wrench wielding person in this chat, Milbester, and he is a moderator, so he does have power. So, what did he say? Just try me now. Bryce is saying Milbester just comes in and sends paragraphs. Yeah, I don't mind the big chunks of information. It's just that it's repetitive sometimes, and sometimes it is on a topic that isn't actually part of what we should talk about here. But he's fine right now. And in some ways, I timed him out already this week. So, I want Milbester to be a part of our channel. Seriously, I do. because it's nice to have fans of other nations that interact with us. We've had Sixers Nation in here. We've had Hornets Nation in here. And now we, have a regular Knicks Nation in here. That's fine. Alley oop to Bryce. Yeah, we'll do that. Bryce Lawson's always pretty funny and witty. I love the John Cena joke the other day was really good. 56 dunks for Bryce right now on the dunk chart. Let's see. Can we do a bigger league than 20 if needed? No. That is the max size of a league in the fantasy for Yahoo. So we have to have teams that aren't going to come back to open up to have spots for Milbester, Kaz, and Bryce. So, yeah, we're going to need some people that are not really active may get relegated. And so that's something that actually Commissioner of Trivia, David Saborn, wants very badly. He wants to get rid of these deadbeat teams that played last year because he was pissed. He didn't like playing against these teams that were just easy pushovers. He wants competition. He wants what Milbester's got in his baseball fantasy league. He wants people that are active and they're trying their damnedest to do well. So our fantasy draft will be Sunday, October the 20th at 9:30 a.m. The draft will start at 9:45. And I'm going to tinker with the settings, David. I'm going to put them back to Yahoo's standard settings. I'm not going to mess with the points or anything like that, other than we're going to have a standard Yahoo league this year. And it won't be all weird like last year. Cowboys saying, Cass, quick question. What's your favorite semi-truck and why? Just asking me. My dad was a long-haul truck driver. I like my Peterbilt. I miss the old cab overs also. Wow, there you go. A little question about the big rigs. Yeah, true, Tom. We'll see if Kaz gives you an answer. Cowboys saying, are we doing the one Raptor rule again? Yes. Yes, that is always a rule in our Raptor Freak fantasy leagues that you can only roster one Raptor at any given time. And so if you draft a Raptor in the draft, you can't draft another one after that. So be wise and according to that. And of course, since there's 20 teams, and there's really only 19 players that are playing for the Raptors anytime, there will be teams that don't have Raptors on them. So in some ways, because we're all Raptors fans and we know that somebody would just stockpile a whole bunch of Raptors on their team, this is a rule that we play with in this league. So this is how it goes. One Raptor per team. If there's a trade that happens in the season, you end up with two Raptors on your team all of a sudden, we will allow you to do that. But in some cases, we ask you to trade the extra Raptor to somebody else also. David's saying, yes, Tom. Love that shit. There we go. Isaac's saying, Rick Smits. That's right. We got it, baby. You got it, Isaac. First one to get it there, right there. Yeah, good job by Farmer Isaac. That's right. 100 points to him. There's Tommy with the tractor. Bryce is saying, do you guys know about that 7'9" kid from Canada? I believe his name is Oliver, 7'9". Yeah. Yeah, he's on the University of Florida Gators this season and university. He'll be debuting in the SEC with the Gators down south in Gainesville, Florida. And yeah, we'll have to see. We'll keep our eye on Oliver Ryu, 7'9". I saw him, Bryce, play for Canada in the underage team this summer. And I don't know. In some ways, I'm worried about his mobility, Bryce. The height is very impressive. But once again, you can't just be super tall and make the NBA. There's been a lot of really tall guys that could have made it, but they weren't fast enough. And that's something we got to see with Oliver. We got to see how he develops. That's right. Andrew's saying, yeah, he's playing for Florida. It's Florida, not Florida State. Don't get this wrong, Andrew. Florida State is where Scotty and I went to school. Mitchell Wiggins, Sam Cassell, Bob Sura. But no, we're not the Gators. The Gators is where he's at. He's in Gainesville. We're from Tallahassee, if you say Florida State. And that's my alma mater. And that's a big no. Don't put that state on there. It's the University of Florida. And we're rivals. We hate the Gators. Florida State hates the Gators, and the Gators hate Florida State. It's as big as a rivalry as the Leafs and the Habs in the state of Florida. So, Andrew, don't make that mistake again. Ryu is on the blue and orange, the bad side. In some ways, I hate that he's on the Gators because I'm a Seminole. I'm curious to see how fluid he moves. A future Team Canada front court of Edie and Ryu could be scary. Yes. I love the ideas, and get that middle school kid in the Space Jam jersey too. He's like 7 foot and he's in middle school. It's crazy. Yeah. Freedom Mobile. That's right. Tommy's saying, let's go, Otts Brothers. There you go. Yeah. Very cool to hear Carl on the phone today. Very, very fun. Andrew saying, my favorite Drozy number is when he scored 50 when he was on Minnesota and got emotional. Everyone was so happy for him. Drozy. Your favorite Drozy. Who's Drozy? Oh, D Rose. You mean D Rose, Derrick Rose. All right. Yeah. Droz. It's going to make me think Draws from like WWF, the guy who broke his neck. Drosy. Okay, it's D Rose. Okay, all right. Thanks, Andrew. David's saying that one fucker told Morgan not to cheer so loud for the home team, the Raptors. My response, fuck you, buddy. Yeah, that's one of the times we went to the game, and somebody told David's girlfriend not to get loud, and man, we gave him the evil eye. Yeah, and she was yelling a lot, and I was all about it. I was like, yeah, Morgan, you go on and you keep getting loud. You're showing the right kind of energy. And just because other people around you are like making dirty looks, we'll give dirty looks back to them. That's right. Cool Cat saying Live Nation announcement. Downsview Park will be the largest open air concert called Rogers Stadium, 50,000 capacity, summer months. Wow. So they're going to build something out there. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's where they had the festival for the SARS benefit, and it was huge at that time with bands like AC/DC and Justin Timberlake and the Rolling Stones playing there, the SARS benefit. So yeah, Downsview Park has a lot of room out there, and yeah, they could build this, and it would be very interesting. This will rival the Budweiser stage down at Ontario Place. In some ways, that this is going to be the new venue where a lot of outdoor shows are going to happen. I can tell. Yeah, Smooth saying I still think if Vince didn't attend his day of 7-game against the Sixers, the Raptors would have won that game. Oh, you mean attended his graduation? Yeah, that's a criticism people have of Vince Carter, is that his choice to go to UNC on that jet, and he was tired. They said he wasn't, but he was. He was jet lagged and kind of like just exhausted. He had a long day, and then he tried to play in a game 7 against the Sixers in the playoffs, and that was the furthest he had gotten in the playoffs with the Raptors. And at that point, yeah, it was a big fail. In some ways, I get it. It's important. Education's important, but you know what? Everybody has priorities in their life. And you can show your priorities are egotistical or selfish in this kind of thing. Some people say, no, education's important. You need to do that. Fuck that. He's getting the degree either way. Oh, he needs the right to feel the feelings. Fuck that. He needs the right to feel the feelings of winning a 7-game series against the Philadelphia 76ers. And in some ways, I have to question Vince Carter's priorities in some ways about this. Because, people get degrees from places all over the place remotely now, and they don't have to fucking walk anywhere or get a piece of paper or wear a stupid little hat. No, they don't. But they got the degree and the credential, and everything's fine. So I still do not agree with this decision that he did this. Like, even 25 years later, I still don't agree with that decision. I thought he fucked this over in that series with the Sixers in some ways because of that. I mean, that shot could have gone in, boom, everything would be changed. Everything would be different. If he made that shot at the end of that game, we wouldn't be talking about how he went to graduation. It'd be fine. But no, it leaves the door open because you did tire yourself out. You did have a huge distraction on that day. And that was completely your choice, Vince. Seriously. In some ways, that's selfish. That's selfish of you because you're not thinking about your teammates on your Raptors team that were trying to get further, just like they wanted, just like the fans wanted to get further. You're just worried about yourself and getting your own graduation. You can say, I'll stand by it. Education's important. I get it. You're a band nerd and education was important to you and you needed to do your little walk and with your mortar and your diploma and all that shit. But still, man, some ways that was selfish. That was very, very egocentric and self-centered of you to just go down there and do your graduation the day of a game 7. Seriously. I'll say that, and I stand on that. Andrew's saying, yeah, we need Milbester in here so he can tell us how much he misses IQ and RJ. You want to dunk, Andrew? You're getting one, man. That's funny. 98 dunks for Andrew. He's coming up on the century mark. There you go. Yeah, I knew what you mean, Smooth. That's awesome. Brian's here. Good to see you. King Brian is in the house. What's up, Freak Nation? Y'all have a good day. Rest in peace, Mamba. Lex, hope you saw my DM. Laugh out loud. Everybody supports me. Yeah, Brian sent me a picture of a Prince jersey that he wears on Sundays when he watches the Minnesota Vikings, his favorite NFL team. And it's a Vikings jersey that has the Prince symbol on it. So he's a huge Prince fan. And we were talking about Prince this week because the Raptors admin posted Prince at a Raptors game in 2003. But yeah, Brian's a huge Prince and Minnesota fan, Purple fan. And he's rocking that stuff on Sundays. Every Sunday is what he's saying. Milbester's saying, also, Lex, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver was in my area of Mott Haven in South Bronx, New York yesterday near my house. And Julius Randle, Tom Thibodeau, and former Knicks legend with Earl Monroe Charter High School. All right, I'll comment on this, but watch out. Come on now. You're going too much on Knicks freak news. Yes, Julius Randle giving back in the Bronx to the community. Really, really nice. In some ways, I like what Walt Frazier said to him. He said, I commend you for the person that you are and all the things you've done for the community here while you've been here. And that, in some ways, with Frazier saying it like that, made me think, okay, Julius may not be a Knick for the rest of this whole season. So, and that's probably true, that things are changing on the Knicks franchise. And it probably is that Julius is going to be moved at some point this year. So, but him giving back to the community, that's the stand-up guy. And you know what? Julius Randle's matured as a person over his career in the NBA. He's been in the NBA for quite a while now, and he really has grown up a lot, and he really is a great pro at this point. I like Julius Randle. I do like him. But I'm going to like him even more when he's not wearing blue and orange. I'm going to say that right now. Yeah. Speaking of the NBA and the commissioner, the NBA referees have come out with their rules to go and emphasize for the season. You know how they do this every year, whether it's hand checking, whether it's giving a shooter space to land off the jump shot. Well, Marty McCutcheon has come out with his rules that the NBA officials are going to be keying on for this season coming up. And let's talk about that a little bit, guys. The first thing they've been kind of talking about is straight line pathways, as far as like the NBA is going to be really watching defenders bumping offensive players that are trying to go a straight path to the basket. You know, one of the ways is a really cheap defensive play is somebody's coming to the basket and you come at them with your belly and you bump into them and you kind of make them go off course. Well, they're going to call fouls on everybody who's doing that now. Now, you can run alongside the offensive player and kind of just shadow them. They're fine with that. But if you initiate some sort of contact that pushes them off of their course in the straight line path that they have to the basket, you're getting a defensive foul. And this is something that the refs are going to be watching this season early on. So be ready for this. And this may be some sort of form of ref manipulation. If I see it in the games and it's called not consistently in the right way every single time, we'll call it out. But this is something that Monty is saying the refs are going to be looking at. Clear path obstruction and bumping people off their clear path to the basket is going to get a foul. Also, they're talking about verticality. And verticality is basically when the defender jumps with verticalness to kind of guard the basket at rim protection. And what's happening in the NBA is some guys are jumping, but they're not jumping straight up. They're jumping forward into the offensive player. That is going to be a foul called every single time. So they're going to be very much watching defenders near the basket when they elevate with verticality that they're going straight up. And a lot of times they can do this without causing fouls. And Marty McCutcheon is very detailed in detailing the difference between fair and legal verticality and when you're kind of encroaching. Like there was one play they showed with Chet Holmgren in the video where Chet was straight up with his body, but he had his arms down over the guy's shoulder like this. That's a foul because his arms aren't straight in verticality like his body. So this is just a little preamble, a preview of some of the things the referees are going to be looking out for this season. Like they always do every season. They have a couple things they're talking about. And the clear path to the basket and verticality are two of them. Also, they are talking about closeouts on jump shots. They are still wanting people to not come underneath people when they're in the air, taking a jump shot and having them land on their foot so they twist their ankle. So very much you need to be smart, defenders in the NBA, about giving space for jump shooters to land on their feet. And that people trying to undercut people that may hurt them in a bad way, you may get a flagrant foul, not just a regular foul, if you do not give them a clear space to land. So, yeah, that's going to be a point of emphasis with the referees this year also. And then finally, they have one more thing. They're still harping on the flopping. They really want people to stop over-exaggerating, like Joel Embiid kind of bullshit, falling over and stuff like that. In fact, they showed our guy RJ in the example on this part of the video saying there was a play where RJ did an over-exaggerated flop after a play. They did not call it during the game, but they reviewed it later after the game was over, and they assessed him a technical after the fact. I kind of vaguely remember when this happened last season, and I was like, what? Wait? They gave RJ a flagrant foul after the game afterwards and a technical? Yeah, because they reviewed it later. And it was basically a kind of thing where, and I honestly, it's ambiguous. I would have argued that, yeah, RJ did not flop, but in their eyes, they thought that he overly flailed his arms and fell out of bounds when he kind of could have caught himself, and just to emphasize that he got fouled. So they're really watching out for that again, overacting on contact and trying to draw the referee's whistle by going, So there's a lot of that. So clear path to the basket for offensive players, verticality, and closing out on jump shots, and also flopping. The four main categories the referees are talking about right now going into the new season. So we'll see how they do this stuff. We know in the beginning of the season, they'll probably be really harping on it and showing instances of it, but they may go a little bit away from it as the season goes on, and we may not see as much. This is how they did stuff like the take foul and different other innovations with the refereeing of the NBA. They have to have rule changes. And in some ways, it's important for the fans, the team, the players, everybody to understand the new rule changes. And some of these players don't understand what the referees are talking about in these videos. Y'all need to watch them, Scotty and RJ and Emmanuel, and see what they're actually caring about this year and try and keep that in mind. Because if you don't, well, we may be getting some calls and they'll be like, yeah, this is a point of emphasis this year with the refereeing. And you need to be up to date on that. That's just part of the league at this point. There are going to be rule changes and rule emphases that are going to be coming in where the referee is going to be hawking on them right away from the beginning of the season. There you go. Smooth saying his legs were gone that game. Iverson was prime. Had the Raptors won, there's a very good chance they beat the Bucks and played the Lakers in the finals. Alas, we'll never know. I know, that's sad. And as Alvin Williams has said, Boogie Williams, that's the furthest he ever got in the playoffs. And that he never got any further in the playoffs, and that was his best chance to go for it. And in some ways, Alvin's probably got some sadness because he didn't get any further in the playoffs, and that was the best year, the best chance, 2001. And in some ways, exactly right. He didn't have his legs under him correctly on that very last shot at the end of the game where the buzzer went out and he missed to the side of the basket. And I'm saying in some ways that's a selfish choice to go get graduated like that and fly. In some point, he could have done this virtually or something like that. Oh, he had to have the experience. And it's all about him walking and stuff like that. Fucking, oh my gosh. That kind of shit kind of pisses me off, honestly. And when the fuck is anybody graduating at that point in that time of this year? I guess that is around the time of year when people would graduate. But it's in the middle of the fucking NBA playoffs. And you have tons of people counting on you, Vince Carter, and you go and do that. Seriously. Oh, my gosh. Milbester saying, it's great to see them all near my house and done a lot for our community. Everyone forgets Adam Silver grew up in New York and upstate. Okay. That's interesting. And Andrew, I do miss RJ. I wanted him as a face of our franchise, but our team didn't put him in a situation where he can take his game to the next level. So we traded him to the Raptors, but I'll root for him. There you go. And that's why Milbester's here, because he is a Quickly and Barrett fan. And these guys are faces of our franchise now. Emmanuel Quickly is the highest paid Raptor, and RJ Barrett is the second highest paid Raptor this season. Both of them making over $30 million to play for the Toronto Raptors this year. And these guys take this shit seriously. They're not coming here to half-ass. I know RJ, hopefully can be FIBA RJ more in NBA this year. Yeah, we're going to see some good stuff from your former Knicks, Milbester, and we're very proud to have them on our team. I'm very excited about a full year with Barrett and Quickly on our squad. That's right. Yeah, Andrew's saying, yeah, Milbester, I think it's a win-win trade, to be honest. You guys got the win now player, and we got development pieces. Good trade. Yeah, Andrew's exactly on point with that comment right there. Exactly on point. Milbester saying, before we got Brunson, I was a fan of RJ, but I know why they traded him to the Raptors. Better situation for both teams. I always cheer for him, and I wish his career well. RJ's a good guy. Well, we knew that y'all wanted OG for like a couple of years before we actually traded him to you. And we had been probably finagling with you guys about the deal for a while, and it was just time. And I'm glad that Masai and Bobby got two really good starters for OG Anunoby, because OG is a very special player, and hopefully he'll stay healthy for you guys, and you'll have good success with him. We'll see. We'll see. Kaz is saying, Cowboy, I drive an international truck. I'm a Kenworth person myself. I only have my DZ license, though, so I drive straight truck. Deliver milk throughout Ontario, Ottawa. Born and raised here. There you go, Kaz. Love to hear that. He's the milkman. All right, there you go. He's got the milk truck. There we go, Kaz. You go in the Ottawa region, holding it down. Andrew saying, I will always cheer for OG. The best one-on-one defender in the league, in my opinion. His offense is kind of frustrating sometimes, but damn, that man can clamp up. Yeah, OG-itis. He'll put that OG-itis on the other players on the other team. He'll tie them up real nice. Yeah, you can ask LeBron. You can ask Nikola. You can ask people around the league that OG will tie you up real good. That's just saying the only reason why they traded Quickly was because he wanted a lot of money to be a backup point guard when they got Brunson. Quickly didn't get a chance to be a starter, and that's why he's in Toronto. No, this is true. Emmanuel Quickly's a starting caliber player in the league. We've seen this, and the luxury of having him off the bench for the Knicks was a luxury while you had it. And in some ways, that price tag was coming like it did this summer. And he needs to get starters minutes and the starter's salary because he's a starter caliber player in the league. And Brunson's in that spot in New York. There's no room. So that's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. Milbester's saying, but RJ and IQ will benefit in their careers and get more playing time. It was for the best, but they'll do well. When they come to MSG, it'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah. And they really do honor their time in their beginnings on y'all's franchise. And I'll respect that. In some ways, I don't have any problems with Emmanuel and RJ having so many friends in the Knicks organization and so much connection in history. You got to honor that. It's a part of where they come from. And I'm not upset about that. I love that these guys show such good friendships with Julius Randle and other Knicks. They really, really do. Andrew saying, yeah, Knicks Raptors is going to be awesome. Can't wait for Precious to come to Toronto again, too. Yeah, they're going to put our games with the Knicks on blast a little bit more. 2 of the games will be nationally televised in the States, one on ESPN and one on NBA TV. So there will be access for people across the United States to watch the Raptors Knicks matchups this season. So that'll be good. That'll be awesome to see. And yeah, there's hype for this. Definitely hype for this. Yeah. Well, Scotty will have fun playing against OG. That's another really fun thing that's a part of it. Andrew said, I think the Knicks will be able to maximize OG's defensive value and that Raptors will maximize IQ and RJ's potential. Yeah, I'll get behind that. Now, I'm worried, though, because of this. And don't tell me Marcus Morris Sr. Come on, man. Don't tell me that, Milbester. Seriously. You guys are going to probably be playing OG at center at times in the beginning of the season. Be very careful, Milbester. Y'all need to listen to me when I warn you guys about OG and his injuries. In some ways, we did this a couple years ago where we didn't have a very good center. It was a similar kind of thing where we just didn't have a center on the roster, a healthy and available. And we were playing Aaron Baines and Alex Lynn. So if you guys play OG at center for too long this season, he's going to get hurt and it's going to be a problem. I'm going to tell you that right now. You are going to play him at center. Watch. I know you will, because in some ways, Precious will do some of it. And okay, Jericho Sims, whatever. Forget about Marcus Morris. He's not going to save you. I'm telling you, you guys need to watch out for this, Milbester. Seriously, Knicks Nation is not as good when OG is not available. And I'm telling you right now, the Knicks fucked up when they got Mikal Bridges and iHeart walked. Y'all are not going to be the juggernauts on the offensive boards like you were last year. And that's going to be the big reason why you won't be as good as you were last year. And that's too bad, because honestly, y'all were building something really nice last year, but y'all were greedy. And you wanted to get Bridges to, well, you fucked your team up that way. I already know you did, and you haven't even played yet. I know it. And that's the problem right there. Y'all lost your defensive rebounding and offensive rebounding edge. And that was what was the secret of y'all's success last year. And that sucks. It's too bad. Knicks fans in some ways deserve better than like over fucking doing shit. It's like, it's classic in their franchise. They get something good going and then they make another big move around it and it fucks up what they already did. So I have a feeling y'all did that again this summer when you acquired Mikal Bridges from Brooklyn Nets. That was just a step too far. And in some ways, you should have been consolidating your front line instead of going and getting another wing. That was really, really stupid by that franchise. Kareem saying, it's crazy about Vince going back to get his degree. Apparently, he had a talk with his teammates, and they agreed for him to go. But, they just said go thinking he's an idiot. It was Game 7. I mean, in some ways, we got to also remember that time, Kareem. The Raptors weren't that prominent. In some ways, people weren't like really thinking Raptors in playoffs or anything special about that. Now with the championship, now with all the battles in LeBronto, with DeMar and Kyle, now all the struggles to try and get back in the playoffs since the championship, we realize how valuable and like how it's very like, something you should very much respect and really take seriously. And at that point, in some ways, Vince's nonchalance about this was indicative of the whole market in Toronto kind of be like, yeah, we're just in the playoffs. We're just glad to be here, but not taking it as seriously as they should have. And that's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. Andrew saying, oh yeah, OG's impact is crazy. He's been underrated for about 4 years now, but now that he's in New York, he'll finally get the respect he deserves. And that is something that makes me happy. That Fred, Pascal, OG are all going to finally get their flowers correctly. And honestly, the way these guys go to other teams and excel and do so much better makes our team look better from years past. because everybody could go back and look at the championship roster and be like, yeah, damn, actually the Raptors were all nice in 2019, and they totally deserve to win the championship because look at this team. It is stacked, absolutely stacked. And people can look at past Raptors teams around the championship year and they'd be like, these teams were badass. Lowry, Gasol, Ibaka, Kawhi, Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, OG too. OG didn't even play. He was hurt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The future success of the Raptors when they were young, they go into what they are now, Fred and Pascal and OG, it makes us look real good. It makes us really look good, even though they're not on our team anymore. Smooth saying Vince had no explosion in his legs. Sixers were very aggressive in their man-to-man that game. Yeah. I remember all that. I remember all that very well. He was flat on that last jump shot too. Yeah, Kaz saying Marcus Morris. That's right. He's not going to save y'all. Seriously. Let's see. Andrew saying maybe they play Precious at center. They might. That might be their best guess. I'm saying it's going to either be one of our Raptors guys is going to have to take over the center for them initially at the beginning of the season. Jericho Sims is still too green and too careless. And in some ways, there's more steadiness in OG most, and then probably Precious second. But even Precious, we know how he can be in some ways too. Yeah, Milbester's saying they're using Precious. He's going to be our center until Mitch is back in December. Sims our backup. Yeah, that may be their best option. But once again, Precious is undersized for a center. I seen a graphic that they showed all those centers in the league, and they had Josh Hart at center. And they're showing like him next to Porzingis and Anthony Davis. I was like, okay, Knicks, you're gonna start Josh Hart at center. And Josh Hart commented on it. he's like, you guys think I'm the center? It's pretty funny. But yeah, Precious is probably the logical choice. Probably the logical choice right there. Smooth saying it's actually criminal for that brief period of time. Toronto had the most watched player in the world, rivaling Michael Jordan. They didn't make a finals run, man. Well, in some ways, once again, I'll say this, and this is one of my criticisms of Vince Carter. His game was sizzle and not steak. And yeah, dunks are great. Dunks are fun to watch. They're great for highlights. They're great for making a legend. But that doesn't win basketball games. And in some ways, the dunks and all that stuff, that's great. You can be a high flyer. You can be the most electrifying player in the NBA. But if you don't do things in games that win games, like bread and butter, kind of gutsy defense and rebounding and everything else that goes in it, teamwork, then, that's the difference. It doesn't translate. I mean, that's why kind of it's fun with Michael. Michael Jordan was one of the greatest dunkers of all time. He did the things in that exhibition, but hey, don't get it twisted. He's more famous and more important for what he did as far as not wanting to lose ever and how he is competitive in his drive. And that's the difference right there. In some ways, sure, they had the Carter versus Jordan versus matchups, but Jordan was the one who was taking it way more seriously than Vince in his whole entire career. And that's the thing that gets you winning is how serious you take things. In some ways, Vince wasn't serious enough about certain things. In some ways, he was just happy to be there. And he was super talented, don't get me wrong. But once again, he was wanting to be an NBA friend to everybody across the league. Paul Pierce, no, I don't hate you, Paul Pierce, even though we're division rivals and you came from my draft class. No, we're best friends. We're cool. Yeah, he didn't have enough enemies in the league, Vince. And Michael had way enough enemies, and that's part of what drove him. That's part of it right there. Yeah. Smooth saying VC was big. He was global. People were rocking Raptors jerseys everywhere. That's right. He was a global phenomena. And in some ways, this is part of the reason why his jersey's going up into our rafters right now. Yeah. The Raptors were a bigger deal than the Lakers, man. They really were. And that's crazy because they had Kobe. They had Shaq. And in some ways, the Raptors and Vince Carter were the most popular team to watch at that point. They were the team that everybody's like, they were very cool and hip at that time. And being in the arena, you felt that energy. You really did. You felt that energy of like the excitement and the anticipation of what the hell is Vince Carter going to do next on the court. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. And that's how I felt when I used to go to work around the turn of the century. It was like, yeah, let's go to work and let's go see what Vince is going to do next. Seriously, that's what it was like those days about 25 years ago. Milbester saying Precious is a good defender, but it's that he's not tall enough and 7 foot for big centers. But he will carry them until Mitch is back. But I'm glad we got Precious back. Yeah, that was a really crucial signing this summer, and y'all waited on that too. I was like, holy crap! I wanted to see Precious go somewhere else and really see you guys get in trouble. You guys are absolutely lucky that you retained Precious Achiuwa this summer. And in some ways, you're exactly right, Milbester. The height is the problem with him. being your starting center. And that, listen, y'all having a big lineup last year and dominating the boards was the huge reason why y'all won. Y'all not going to do this year. And that's going to be the difference between why y'all are not going to be as successful this year as you were last year, is y'all are not going to get the boards like you did last year. And that is the huge thing that y'all did so well last year. Seriously. And it really has a lot to do with Hartenstein. Cowboys got that 30th anniversary logo on there with Darko. Andrew saying, I've never seen tunnel vision as bad on a player as Precious, but yeah, he's a good defender. No, he's fantastic. And he can do a really good job on Embiid for short periods, but he can't do it for most of the game. That's going to be the thing. They're going to need Jericho Sims and maybe even Marcus Morris. We'll see. Carlos saying, I remember thinking when Hartenstein signed with OKC, there goes New York's contender status. Yeah, I think that's what I said when I saw it. I'm like, you guys don't understand how important Hartenstein has been to your heart of your team, other than heart. Hartenstein was a big part of the heart and the reason why it was happening. Yeah. Seymour saying, Mayor Adams of New York indictment, laugh out loud, puff parties. I have no idea what that is. Does that have to do with Diddy again? Is there something going on there, Seymour? I'm not keeping up with New York mayor scandals or anything like that. I did kind of hear something happen, but that's it. Andrew's saying OKC getting Hartenstein and Caruso in the same offseason is kind of crazy. That's why a lot of people are ranking OKC really well, because the youth movement there now has some direction with veterans, and especially Caruso. So that'll be very interesting to see the mix of Caruso and Hartenstein with the young Thunder this year. And they should be very successful this year. I'm expecting it. Milbester saying Hartenstein left for more money. They couldn't re-sign him with early bird rights. Most we could offer was 4 years at $72 million. They had no way to keep him. Yeah, and a lot of New York fans are mad at him now. And they're like, oh, you live in the middle of nowhere. And they're like really coming down on iHeart. And they're like really showing that they're pissed at him. I get why he left, but also, this could have been managed better by the Knicks organization. In some ways, y'all hold on to too much all at once. In some ways, if y'all had done some proper shuffling, maybe gotten rid of Julius Randle sooner, you could have retained Hartenstein instead, because Randle's probably going to leave anyway. And in some ways, you're probably going to trade Randle to get a center or somebody that's kind of comparable to a Hartenstein. So that's what I could see happening, Milbester. Right there. In some ways, it's your management of your front office that screwed up with Hartenstein. Seriously, they should have had a window and a place open for him. Maybe they didn't forecast that he would want that much money and be worth that much money. And they oh crap, he's way too good, and we can't retain him in our salary structure. So yeah, we got to let him walk. So they were just like, but that dude was the key to y'all winning last year. I'm telling you right now. Cool Cat saying Vince was the entertainment dunking baller without the winning mentality. That's exactly it. Cool Cat said that a while ago, but that's exactly it. That's right. That's why he was not ever close to winning a chip. He needed a winning mentality coach to guide him to a chip. Yeah, in some ways he was a casual about his career. I mean, it's long, and he has a lot of accolades, and he is a Hall of Famer. I don't get that twisted. I do believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame for sure. But in some ways, if he had more of Jordan and Kobe's drive, what could have happened with Vince? In some ways, I feel like an idiot. I called the Fan 590 Chuck Swirsky show in 1999. I said, Vince Carter is going to be the next Michael Jordan. He's going to do it. But I didn't realize he wasn't having the same DNA of winning and competitiveness as Michael Jordan at that time. I just hoped he did, but he didn't. And in some ways, that was the failing right there. Speaking of Chuck Swirsky, yesterday, Chuck Swirsky was at the Fan 5 at the Sportsnet studios doing an interview with Sportsnet for the 30th anniversary celebration of the Raptors. So they got Chuck to come down and do an interview talking about Raptors history and his time working for the Raptors as the voice of the Raptors. I wrote him a comment on Twitter to say, you are a beloved Raptors voice of the past. And I missed the Chuck Swirsky show on Fan 590. And Chuck Swirsky liked my comment. So he saw me giving love to him yesterday because he was touched that the Sportsnet people wanted to talk to him about the Raptors and their 30th anniversary. And he's going to be a part of our celebration. So you're going to see some video of Chuck talking about Raptors and being on the Raptors announcing crew back in the day at some point. They're filming a bunch of stuff for the 30th anniversary season now, with different people from the past that are important. That thing from yesterday with Morris Peterson and the OVO Hometown Heroes collection. Well, there are a couple other people in the ad also. I didn't realize Muggsy Bogues also showing up in Paul's collection wearing the Raptors gear. And for the Leafs side of things, Matt Sundin in the OVO Hometown Heroes collection for this fall also. So Morris was not the only person modeling the OVO in this ad campaign. Muggsy and Mats are also there. Yeah, there you go. Andrew's saying you're lucky Brunson. Hang on. You're lucky. Y'all are lucky Brunson took a pay cut because OG wasn't leaving a single cent on the table. Yes. And OG, you go get paid and be the most highest paid ever in the history of the New York Knicks franchise, OG Anunoby. Toronto Raptors draft pick and Toronto Raptors great from before he goes to the Knicks. And now he's the highest paid player ever in the history of the New York Knicks. That says a lot right there. That's right. Seymour saying Gravis Vasquez had more heart than Vince. Boom goes the dynamite. You know what, Seymour? That is a very tough statement. I'm going to give it a dunk because I'm not going to disagree with it. I'm not going to disagree with it. I would say Jorge Garboza had more heart than Vince as another 15 that wore the jersey, the same number as him. Yeah, 142, Seymour. You're at 142. Yeah, Amir Johnson, another 15 that had more heart than Vince in some ways. That's right. That's right. He's coasting on that talent. Milbester's saying OG was overpaid a bit. I will admit, but he's too valuable for a wing. I agree with this. And I say pay OG whatever the fuck he wants because OG's an amazing human being and we love him so much up here in Toronto. Smooth saying Vince had the most natural ability I've ever seen. That's true. Very fluid and easy. It seemed like everything was easy for him. That's what makes it so frustrating. He really could have been the best ever. Had he cared to be. I know. I mean, I wonder about this. You know, if he had done what DeMar did, DeMar DeRozan was so about building skill and working hard on expanding skills. If Vince had gone on that track and really gotten to the workshop and been more like a Kobe or a DeMar DeRozan, just imagine the possibilities of how his career could have gotten better and better as he got older. But instead, as his physical attributes went away, he did not work on the mental or the competitive attributes to get better, and his game dropped off in his later half of his career. And in some ways, you know, somebody like DeMar DeRozan, he's in that point right now in his career. Is his game dropping off right now? No, it's not, because he's put in that skill work. He's put in that really hard, understand the grind time out there to make himself still absolutely on top of the NBA and absolutely one of the most relevant scorers in the league still at his age, DeMar DeRozan. And that may be a place where Vince has regrets. I was lazy and I should have put more skill work in like Kobe did, like DeMar did. Yeah. I mean, that's an example right there. DeMar DeRozan, he's only gotten better and better as his career's gone on. And Vince, halfway through his career, he fell off a cliff. He really, really did. Let's see. Carlos saying too many wings and no centers is so traumatic for Raps fan. I know what I'm seeing in New York looks like this, Carlo. It's like I'm looking at New York and I'm like, wait, are you guys trying to be the Raptors 2 years ago? Yikes. Cool Cat saying I always wanted Hartenstein on the Raptors. Knicks and Clippers underrated him. You know, he came out from nowhere. And he really did kind of arrive last year. Last year, he kind of arrived. Well, he went and got that money, and he went to a very good team. So he's going to compete very, very well in the West on the Thunder, and that's going to be fun. Seymour saying, Knicks, who I hate, will be fine. They need to move Randall, bring in a 5. That's right. I think that's exactly right. Smooth saying, to this day, no one tops Vince in natural ability, not Kobe, not Jordan, and not LeBron. I think this is true. As far as a natural athletic ability, and just like what Smooth said, Smooth knows Smooth. And the things that Vince did were so smooth and just like look like, yeah, that totally makes sense because his body is just like poetically moving through the air and the way his arm moved and everything and his leaping ability. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the potentials were there. The potentials were there. In some ways, I would like to see Stunted Growth, the YouTube channel, do something on Vince and talk about how maybe he didn't totally fulfill his promise. I know they did a beautiful game segment on him talking about how beautiful he played, like what Smooth's talking about. But they could do a Stunted Growth on how Vince could have capitalized on his career better in certain ways if he had done certain things differently. Raptors have signed a new player yesterday, guys. They've signed Kennedy Chandler, point guard out of Memphis. He's a player that was drafted to the Memphis Grizzlies. He was bounced around in the G League for 2 years now. He was on the Hustle his first year in the G League, and now last year he was on the Long Island Nets. But yeah, Kennedy Chandler is an undersized guard who's a baller. He's not a very good shooter. This is all according to Stunted Growth, who's done a clip on him already about why his growth has already been stunted, even though he's only been in the G League for 2 years. Now, he doesn't have any potential to make the Raptors, but he will be probably on our 905. So check out Kennedy Chandler, the latest Raptors acquisition yesterday. We signed him, and he's going to be going to the 905, guys. But yeah, he's a little bit like JD Davison for the Celtics. He's a really talented guy, and he apparently had the highest verticality in his draft class at 5'10". They list him at over 6 foot, but he's really like 5'10". And like I said, he's not a good shooter. He's more like a dynamic scorer who goes at the basket, and also he's a playmaker. But I don't expect much from him, and he will be playing for 905, guys, is probably what's going to happen there. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Seymour saying, is our division the most competitive? I would say the Eastern Conference, the top teams are in our division. I mean, Boston's there, Philly's there, and New York. Those are three marquee top teams at this point. The order of things, there's, our division may be the toughest. Now, Brooklyn, it should be below us. But yeah, those are top three teams. The champs are in our division, and the Sixers and Nick Nurse and all the retooling they've done, Yabusele, they're scary. They're scary. I'm more scared of the Sixers than I am of the Knicks this year. Yeah, I am, because they've really got a really good roster in Philadelphia right now. They really, really do. Cowboys saying, I think so. The Raptors are in it, though. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we do. Not a whole lot of expectations, but also I'm excited about the development and where we're going with our team. It's in a good place. In a very, very good place. That's right. Milbester saying, at least every team has strengths and weaknesses. We know our weakness at center, but they're set up for a trade for a center during the season. Precious has a big role. Yes, he does. Y'all are going to be relying on him, and hopefully he can show more leaps and bounds with this game. In some ways, he's kind of been treading water his NBA career. In some ways, Precious is supposed to break through at some point, and he just hasn't. Carlos saying, goes to show there are a shortage of good big men in the NBA. Yeah, there always is kind of like, I mean, different teams would hoard them. Like the Cavs were hoarding all these 7-footers for a while. Some teams were just lucky in having a very big team. I feel like we have that this year. In fact, I would say this. Masai and Bobby have built the Raptors roster this year with very much bigger players. And in some ways, I would say this, Windhurst, that it's partly because they want Scotty slotted at guard more often. Is that, you have a bigger roster. Well, Scotty, being one of the bigger players last year, that after Jakob, the second best rebounder, that's a problem. And having more centers coming in like Fernando, Shamshe, Mobo, different people like that is going to be helpful. Carlson, because then Scotty can be slotted further down the lineup in a lower position, like a small forward shooting guard or even the point guard at times. And that having the larger roster overall for the Raptors will allow for this more. Now, if we have a small height roster, well, Scotty's got to play power forward, and he's got to very much take a big brunt of the rebounding for us. But if you bring in Shamshe, you bring in Carlson, you bring in Mobo, you bring in Fernando, these guys are going to come in and help us with the rebounding duties, and that will free up Scott. It's kind of like the opposite of what happened in New York. We got a whole bunch of new rebounding guys to help us with our anemic rebounding at the end of the season. I don't think people realize this around the NBA when they're gauging the Raptors in their preview rankings for this season. They're not realizing we have gained new rebounders, and we're going to do way better on the boards this year than we did last year. Watch. We will. And it will be because of people like Shamshe right there. That's right, because we got Shamshe. That's right, Cowboy, because we got Shamshe. That's right. Let's go. Yeah, David's saying, is it a fucking game time or what? David's just ready to go, man. David is hyped. Trevor's saying, have a good day, everyone. I'm going to spend the day on Times Square doing fun stuff. Yeah, so Trevor has escaped the South. He's in New York. He's going to Times Square. Apparently, Bill Gates was out there eating hot dogs yesterday or something. So you go down there, Trevor, you might see Bill Gates of Microsoft. You have a nice time being a tourist, Trevor, down there. Yeah. Kareem saying, are we done talking Knicks? I hate everything New York except for 90s rap. 90s rap from New York is okay. Always saying, have fun, Trevor. There's a lot of laughing. Ali the dunk champion. Yeah, Kareem's all surly too. David's surly. You guys are surly because Milbester made it a little bit too much Knicks today. I have no problem with it. In some ways, the Knicks stuff was important to talk about just now, and it was centered around OG and Precious. So that's what matters. $2.99, Kareem. You're almost back. You're almost back. $2.99. Cowboys got a whole bunch of faces there. I love it. Scotty, Emmanuel, RJ, Grady, Davion, Ulrich, Masai, Mo, myself. That's right. Milbester saying Hartenstein didn't come out of nowhere. I saw him on the Clippers before he came here. He was backup center to Zubac. He came a long way. That's what I'm saying. Well, to me, I'm sorry, Milbester. But in some ways, the people that don't pay attention to the Raptors, well, some ways I'm not paying attention to other people in the other league because it's the same action. And in some ways, he came from nowhere to me. You guys may have seen him coming, but I didn't. That's at least for me. You guys may have seen him, though. But I didn't see him. I didn't see him coming. I was like, who the hell is this guy? All right, let me finish up the comments. I'm at 6 minutes before my cutoff, guys. So please, no more comments, please. Andrew saying Memphis is good at drafting like Toronto. Maybe he'll be solid in the G. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any high expectations for Kennedy Chandler. I feel like in some ways, this is the way Stunted Growth described him. They described him as having one of the best verticalities in his draft class, but he doesn't even use it in his game. He doesn't rely on getting elevation in his game. So that's a red flag. And then the other thing they were saying is they described him as a player that's just mundane. Like every year in the draft, there's players that come out that have the same skill set, and there's nothing extra special about him. So, I mean, he's not really getting the right reviews from the right people as far as scouting him and me looking at Kennedy Chandler. The other knock on Kennedy Chandler is that he came out of college too soon. He was stupid and he did a one and done, and he probably should have hung around in college and got more skill training at that level before he made the leap to trying to come to the NBA. Because he's not going to make the NBA. Watch. He's going to be like Javon Freeman Liberty. He'll be in the G League for a few years, and then at some point he'll just go overseas because he's probably not good enough to be an NBA player. He's undersized, and honestly, there's nothing distinctively crazy good about his skills that makes him have a foot in the door to be in the NBA. So that's what I would say about it right there, Andrew. Yeah, Cowboys saying good luck this year, Milbester. There you go. Do you think the Bucks will be better than Knicks? Well, that's what this ESPN ranking is saying. They've got Milwaukee. This is really crazy, actually. If we look at this at the top, they've got the Celtics number one, of course, because they're the defending champs and stuff like that. But second, they have Cleveland. They think Cleveland's going to have the second most wins in the East. I don't believe that. Milwaukee third, Indiana fourth, and then Sixers, and then New York. They got the New York Knicks sixth place in the Eastern Conference behind Philadelphia, Indiana, Milwaukee, Cleveland, and Boston. So they're sliding New York right there. Miami 7th, Orlando 8th, Brooklyn 9th, and then us at 10. Brooklyn 9th. Yeah, right. Raptors going to be 9th, if not 8th. We might steal one from another team up above. We'll have to see. Yeah. Milbester's saying, same, Cowboy. I'm telling you guys, Raptors are making the playoffs. Bottom of the East is wide open, and the Bulls are rebuilding, and you're better than the Nets and the rest in the bottom. Thank you, Milbester. I agree with you, and I'm hoping this is exactly true this season. David's saying expectations are good to have. I have expectations, high expectations. Scotty would be insulted otherwise. There you go. That's just how David operates. He was that way as a bridge player. He's always been that way. He has expectations. He's a competitor, and he's aiming for high, lofty goals, and that's what matters to him. Kaz is saying, Cowboy, I answered your question earlier. I was driving. Sorry. It's all good. We've seen what you said. You're a Kenworth guy, and it's all good. And Cowboy's saying, let's go join the dark side, the Darko Milbester. Come on now. You know you want to join Raptor Freak Nation. Well, he does. He comes in and talks to us. Smith's saying Pacers will be better than Knicks, man. I agree with this, and ESPN's agreeing with this, apparently. Andrew saying, anyone know when the 905 plays their first game? It'll be in November. November is when they start the cup part of the Showcase Cup part of their season, where they have like a bunch of games where they play in a cup, kind of like the in-season tournament. They play in an in-season tournament right up from the start, and it'll be in November. Yeah, Smith's saying Knicks were lightning in a bottle last year. Yeah, they caught it, and they let it go. They let it go. That's going to be the sad thing. Milbester's saying Bucks are falling back. Their team is stuck with veterans and no picks. They already won an NBA title, and that Lillard trade was a huge gamble. Rest of the East has more depth, cap space, and picks. Now, I will say this, Milbester, I agree with you partly that the thing with Lillard hasn't totally worked out, and they are in a weird place with their franchise and flexibility. But them getting Gary this summer and some of the other free agents they picked up, don't be surprised if Milwaukee's better than they were last year. And also, I'm expecting them to fire Doc Rivers at some point and hire Darvin Ham to be the head coach of them at some point this season. So the Bucks will be kind of weird and kind of interesting, but I think they're going to be better than they were last year. And some of it is Giannis. Giannis has got a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to be wanting to prove some things this year. Watch. Cowboys saying, I got you, Kenworth. Nice pick, alley-oop, David. All right, you want alley-oop to David? We can do that. The commissioner trivia always holding it down for us the right way. Let's see, 235, 236, actually. 236 for David on the dunk chart. He's up there. He's probably second in the dunks right now. Andrew saying, Bester, y'all don't have picks either after the McHale trade. That's true. 10-4, good buddy. There you go. There's the lingo. Smooth saying, I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm telling you guys, they're not as good as some people think they are. Yeah, I think that they really had a rebounding advantage last year, and they've lost it this summer. Milbester saying, yes, we do. We gave up half our first-round picks. We have 5 left. It was 6 for McHale, but we got a ton of second-round picks. Yeah, see, that's the tough thing. Oh, man. We'll have to see. We'll see who's right in the end. Cowboys saying, Roger that. And Smooth saying, because the Knicks are considered the flagship of the NBA, they will be hyped. For sure. They will. And they're worthy of it right now. They weren't maybe a couple years ago of like getting a lot of attention, but they're the caliber of a team that does deserve the attention. The Lakers are not, but the Knicks deserve the media attention. I do. I believe that at this point. They didn't before. They got a lot of media attention when they were shitty before, but they are good enough now for sure. Let's see. Cowboys saying later, Lex and freaks. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for calling me today, Bradley. Thanks for calling me, Tom. Thanks for calling me. Well, I called Carl. Milbester's saying we had 11 first round. All right. I don't care about any of that. I'm over time, and I'm at time right now, and I'm going to finish up. Andrew's saying Cavs in second is wild. I know. I think that's ridiculous. They think the Cavs are the second best team in the East right now. I think that's crazy. I really do. Trevor's saying JFL and Jordan playing for the same team in Europe. Jordan Wara and JFL are on the same team in Europe. That's very cool, Trevor. I didn't know that. They're both playing on the same team in Turkey. Very cool. Jordan Wara and Javon Freeman Liberty are teammates this year in Turkey. Milbester's saying we still got picks after Bridges, just not like before, but they're okay. And AJ Griffin has officially retired. All right, you go ahead, AJ. You go ahead. Carlos saying it's crazy if the Bucks fire Doc. They're going to pay 3 coaches. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do it. I would say Doc should just step down right now and just let Darvin Ham be the coach of the team right now. If the Bucks really want to be ahead of their thing, Doc, you don't really want to coach the Bucks. You only came in there just to help them out in the whole stupid situation with Adrian Griffin. In some ways, you should just step down and let them give the job to Darvin Ham right now, because that's what they want. You know that. And, Doc, you don't need to be coaching right now. Seriously, you know you shouldn't be coaching the NBA. Milbester say Bucks should have kept their head coach and not get Doc. I agree with this. They gave Adrian Griffin a raw deal. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why his son just retired, I'll bet. All right, let me go over the tabs, and I'll get out of here, guys. We did the Instagram stories. I talked about the NBA officials. I talked about the rankings that Kevin Pelleton has for the wins projected. Y'all remember, we got this NBA Fantasy League coming up. I want to know which one of you guys are ready to come back and play again. And the ones that aren't, you need to let me know or not let me know, because I will fill your spots with people like Bryce and Kaz and Milbester. So do that right. Okay, first of all right, one more thing. The WNBA is a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. While we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, and anyone affiliated with the league. League security is actively monitoring threat-based activity and will work directly with teams and arenas to take appropriate measures to include involving law enforcement as necessary. So the WNBA getting more attention now, and people are polarizing, like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and there's been a lot of out-of-pocket, crazy-ass shit said, and in some ways the WNBA isn't used to this much attention and getting all the trolls and all the negative toxic shit like the NBA does. So in some ways they're saying, we ain't going to have it. And law enforcement will be involved if people are out of pocket. And that's the rightful way. In some ways, they didn't understand this is how it could be as you get bigger in your britches. That's right. Happy birthday to Greg Stiemsma of the Raptors, a former player, I believe. I believe he is a former player, either a former player. I think for a hot cup of coffee or an assistant coach. But happy birthday to former Raptor Greg Steamsma. It's his birthday today. He is 39. And that's about it, I guess, on the Raptor Freak channel for today. We'll do a Friday Freak Out tomorrow. Thanks for watching the call-in show. We were talking Vince today. A couple of opinions here. We were positive about Vince to an extent today. So that's good. In some ways, the feeling around the building and the Air Canada Center around the turn of the century was buzzing. The Vince sanity was real, palpable energy. And in some ways, working in that environment was a lot of fun. It was exciting to come to work every day. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why the disappointment of his exit was so hard to deal with, is because he built us up. He carried us. He put wind beneath our wings. And then, man, he just crushed us as he left. And it's so sad. Rob Babcock, fuck you. Two-finger salute for you because you didn't listen. And in some ways, if you had just struck the deal down at the last minute, maybe you wouldn't have made one of the worst deals ever in the NBA's history and traded him for Alonzo Mourning that day. If what could have happened if at the last moment there was a pardon and Vince was not getting traded out and that he did stay and something did get mended and he did get coached under Sam Mitchell for a while and did have good things happen? What if he did stay around Chris Bosh and try to help mentor him and build a nucleus with that? What could have, would have, could have, should have happened, didn't. And in some ways it got toxic. It got dysfunctional. A lot of people were outspoken. Doug Smith added fuel to the fire with his bullshit on the Toronto Star. And he got out of control, got out of hand. Vince was waffling about whether you want to be a Raptor or not. Well, you say it. Do you talk about it too much? Even if at the last second you said, I do want to stay on the Raptors. Well, you already turned the wheels. And in some ways, you publicly went at Rob Babcock in the front office for not being fast enough to trade you. And well, they went and tried to trade you. And then in the last second, you said, no, I don't want to get traded from Toronto. Well, that's confusing as hell, Vince. And in some ways, it should have never gotten to that point of unprofessionalism on your part. Sure, we had one of the worst GMs in the history of the NBA at that time in charge of the Raptors. But in some ways, once again, we are all only accountable for our own actions and our own words. And Vince, you had a side of things where you were in charge of what you did. And that is the biggest problem we have with this kind of stuff. That's right there. Yeah, that's it right there. That's right. Let's see. Milbester saying, I'll join the NBA fantasy when it does start. Well, just keep checking in with us, and I'll give you the information as it comes. I want to check and see how many of the old managers are going to come back first, and then we'll see if I got a spot for you. Milbester saying, I would have joined NFL fantasy. Okay, well, I don't care about that, man. Trevor's saying, Clark, get a fan thrown out of a game last night. Well, maybe that fan was saying some very out-of-pocket shit that's not family-friendly for that environment and maybe very ugly stuff. Fans are idiots sometimes. In some ways, they cross lines they shouldn't with things that they say to players while they're on the court. We know this is true. Very, very racist, crazy things some of them say sometimes. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Streak channel today. Let's get out there and touch grass. Let's Raptorize our day just like Nav Bhatia, the superfan, would. And I hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday. And I'll be back tomorrow for a Friday Freak Out, 9:30 a.m. Raptor Streak channel. I'm out. Let's go. Raptors. Let's go, baby. And Vince's jersey's going up in the rafters, baby. So we'll have to see how it looks. In some ways, I hope it's not with his picture on it. I just want the jersey and the number on there. I don't want to see his face in the arena. I really don't. Yeah, the Warriors signed Kevin Knox. Yeah, that's not interesting. That's a little, not a needle pusher. Who cares? 1-year deal. Yeah, the Warriors. Who cares? I thought Kevin Knox was going to be out of the league because honestly, in some ways, Bill Bester, Knicks fan, All right, let's go, Raptors. Let's go.